Hello guys, and welcome back to the channel, welcome back to another season of this fanfic, welcome to the second season of What if Naruto awakened the Rinnegan as a child and fell in love with Hinata? Thanks for all the support in the first season of this fanfic, and remember that if you want more seasons, in this case a third season, don't forget to give your like, comment and subscribe for more. So, we gonna start.
Chapter 14, The Preliminaries. All the teams had made it to the tower. There were 7 teams in total. Team 7 consisting of Uzumaki Naruto, Hyuga Hinata, Uchiha Sasuke, and Haruno Sakura. Team 8 consisting of Inuzuka Kiba, Aburame Shino, and Murasaki Tatsumaki. Team 10 consisting of Nara Shikamaru, Akimichi Choji, and Yamanaka Ino. Team Guy consisting of Hyuga Niji, Rock Lee, and Tenten. Team Kabuto consisting of Yakushi Kabuto, Akado Yoroi, and Tsurugi Misumi. Team Suna, Sand, consisting of Sabaku no Gara, Gara of the Desert, Kankuro, and Tamari. And Team Odo, Sound, consisting of Kinyuta Dosu, Abumi Zaku, whose broken left arm was in a sling, and Tsuchikin. 22 participants remaining. Now it was time for the next event. The genin all gathered in a large arena with 2 large statues doing hand seals. There were also staircases that lead to an upper level. The Jonin senseis were also in the room. Soon entered the Hokage, who addressed all the genin in the room. I am most impressed that you made it through the forest of death. However, your test is not yet done. The Hokage told them, "What, we just got through 2 tests and now we have to do another one?" shouted Kiba in disbelief, but was silenced by Murasaki slapping the back of his head. "Yes, you do have another test. You see, there are way too many of you to do the final exams. So we have to cut you all down with a preliminary event." The Hokage explained. "What?" shouted Kiba, Ino, Dosu, Zaku, Kin, and Kankuro at the same time. "Yes, we need to cut you guys down for the final exams. So we will be doing matchups generated by this computer behind me." Hiruzen told them, pointing at the giant monitor behind him. "Huh?" The same genins chorused, confused. "Hokage-sama, may I explain it to cough them?" A sickly pale-looking man with brown hair wearing the standard Konoha flak jacket asked. "Yes, you may," the Hokage said. The sickly man turned towards the genin. "Okay, everyone, my name is Gecko Hayate. I cough will explain this event. We will be holding cough one-on-one matches by using the large cough computer in the room to cough names that will randomly cough appear to determine who fights. The winner will cough, move on to the final exams. You can win by knockout, your opponent forfeiting a restrained attack that could kill them or death." Hayate explained. "Now would anyone like to forfeit before we begin?" Hayate asked. Kabuto looked like he wanted to, but he knew it would be weird if he did, as his wounds from Dosu would have healed by now and he wasn't injured. "Okay, then let's get started with the first match," Hayate said, and the computer started cycling through names until it landed on 2. Uchiha Sasuke versus Inuzuka Kiba. Will everyone except Uchiha, Sasuke, and Inuzuka Kiba please go to the upper levels? Hayate asked. Everyone went up the stairs and waited for the fight to begin from atop the balcony. First match of the preliminaries. Uchiha Sasuke versus Inuzuka Kiba. "Hajime," Hayate said, jumping back. "Alright, this'll be good. Let's go, Akamaru," Kiba shouted and then charged at Sasuke. Kiba swiped a right-clawed hand at Sasuke, who ducked under it. Sasuke then gripped Kiba's left arm and right-punched Kiba in the face and then tripped Kiba's leg out from under him, sending Kiba on his back. Kiba then pulled something out of his ninja tool pouch and threw it at Akamaru. Akamaru ate it and then his fur turned red and then attacked Sasuke. Sasuke jumped to the side and went through hand signs. Snake Ram Monkey Boar Horse Tiger, Katan Gokaku no Jutsu, Fire Style, Fireball Jutsu. Sasuke shouted and sent a large fireball at Kiba, who was getting up, and Akamaru running to his master's side. The fireball hit and exploded. When the flames cleared, there were 2 Kibas, both on all fours and one standing on the other. They jumped off each other and rushed at Sasuke, who got ready for their assault. They swiped claws at Sasuke, who kept dodging. Claw after claw, soon Sasuke had enough. Sasuke grabbed one of their outstretched hands and threw him at the other. Then when the one Kiba caught the other, Sasuke kicked the one being held, forcing both back into a wall. Sasuke was just about to leave, thinking he won, when he heard a voice shout, "We're ending this now, Sasuke." Getsuga, Fong over Fong. He turned to see two Kibas running and then spinning as they ran. They turned into two large spiraling drills in the form of cyclones. The first one came at Sasuke, who dodged to his left. The next came at him from the left, so Sasuke jumped over it. The first one then came back around to hit the airborne Sasuke, who twisted out of the way to avoid it. Sasuke kept dodging cyclone after cyclone until he had enough. He started going through hand signs while the cyclones came towards him at a fast rate. Borox Ramox Monkey Boar, Rai Tun. Rai Mei, lightning style. Thunderclap. Sasuke clapped his hands together and then slowly pulled them apart. Electricity formed between his hands. Sasuke then shot a large blast of electricity in the form of an electric circle with electricity bouncing around inside the circle. The cyclones were moving too fast to avoid the attack, so they got hit. The Kibas both stopped due to the attack temporarily paralyzing them. The one Kiba turned into Akamaru, who was still stunned from the attack and soon became unconscious, while the real Kiba was just paralyzed. Sasuke then ran at Kiba and did a slide towards him while kicking him in the face and sending him high up into the air. Sasuke then used a Kagebayo, dancing leaf shadow, to appear underneath the airborne Kiba. Sasuke sent a left kick into Kiba's ribs. Next he spun around, heading over Kiba and sending his left elbow into Kiba's stomach, followed by another spin and then punching Kiba in the face with a right punch. Kiba went falling to the floor and Sasuke pursued him. Sasuke dropped to Kiba's side just as he spun and hit his right leg in the form of an axe kick on Kiba's chest while saying, "It's over! Shurshur Rendan, Lion's Barrage." Kiba impacted into the ground and was found unconscious. The genin barring Naruto, Hinata, Gaara, and Neji all looked on in awe at what Sasuke did. Lee looked shocked that Sasuke copied the kick for his Omote Renge, primary lotus. Hayate went to check on Kiba and Akamaru and found they were fine but were now unconscious. Inuzuka Kiba is, cough, unable to continue. The winner, cough, is Uchiha Sasuke. Hayate said, declaring Sasuke as the victor. Sasuke nodded and then continued up the stairs to meet with his team as medical ninjas came to collect Kiba. "Good job, Sasuke," Kakashi said, congratulating Sasuke. "Yeah, you did awesome against Kiba," Naruto said. Hinata smiled and nodded, congratulating him as well. Sakura, however, hugged him. "Congratulations, Sasuke-kun," Sakura said, but didn't notice Sasuke's reddening cheeks from the contact. Ino, on the other side of the balcony, was gritting her teeth seeing Sakura hug Sasuke. "I'll destroy that harpy before she gets her claws in Sasuke-kun," Ino thought to herself. And as if some higher power had listened to her prayers, something happened. The computer started cycling through names. It landed on Haruno Sakura versus Yamanaka Ino. "Will Haruno Sakura, cough, and Yamanaka Ino please, cough, enter the ring?" Hayate asked, calling for the two genin. Ino jumped over the railing into the ring, doing a flip and landing in the ring. Sakura climbed down the stairs, getting ready to fight. Sakura was recalling how they both dissolved their friendship because both shared a crush on Sasuke. The second match, Haruno, cough, Sakura versus Yamanaka Ino. "Hajime," Hayate said and then jumped back. "You should give up now, forehead," Ino told Sakura, smirking. "Why would I do that, pig?" Sakura said, annoyed by the insulting remark to her forehead. "Because it would mean that I don't have to toss you around the arena like a rag doll. Besides, do you really believe yourself worthy of Sasuke-kun?" Ino said. Right after saying that, Naruto, Hinata, Kakashi, Sasuke, Anko, Kurenai, Asuma, Shikamaru, Tenten, Shino, Ibiki, and the Sandaime third Hokage all groaned audibly. All the while thinking, why did Kami curse us with fangirl? Meanwhile, in the afterlife, hey, I didn't create the idea of fangirls. That was Yami-chan's idea. Kami was saying this to a former shinobi that suffered in his life due to the constant chases of him conducted by fangirls. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Time out, Kami-chan, that wasn't me, I thought it was you. Yami said to her sister. Wait, if it wasn't you and it wasn't me who created them? Kami asked. They then turned to see the Shinigami backing up slowly away from them until he was caught by them and blitzed away faster than lightning. Why did you create them? Kami and Yami yelled at him while chasing him with spears. Where they came from no one knows. It was for torture purposes, but I didn't count on some of the fangirls I created to somehow mix with some souls set to be reincarnated. Shinigami yelled, running for his life. He did create the single worst thing in human history, compared only with the Jubi, Uchiha Madara, and Might Guy naked or in a tutu. Shudder. Back on Earth, everyone in Konoha minus Might Guy and Rock Lee shivered suddenly because they had the feeling that horrors unimaginable were thought up by someone. Sakura was just staring unemotionally at Ino. "Are you done speaking?" Sakura asked, annoyed. Ino growled, annoyed at what Sakura just said to her. "Let's go, forehead." Ino yelled, rushing at Sakura, throwing a right punch at Sakura's face. Sakura stuck her left arm out, blocking Ino's punch. Sakura then sent a right punch at Ino's face. Ino staggered back a bit from the punch. Sakura then spun, sending her left foot into Ino's stomach while spinning. Ino bent over due to the kick. Sakura then smashed her knee into Ino's face, sending her back to a standing position. Sakura then sent a strong right punch at Ino's face, only for Ino to duck under the shot and send her left leg into Sakura's right leg, tripping her. Sakura fell on her back and Ino took advantage, stomping on Sakura's stomach with her right leg. "Is this all you've got, forehead? I'm disappointed," Ino told the downed girl, lifting her leg up and sending it back down. Sakura, however, grabbed Ino's foot as she brought it down and twisted it. Ino howled from the pain and grabbed her injured foot after falling to her knees. Sakura took advantage and kicked the downed girl in the face with her right leg. Ino was sprawled onto her back but still refused to give up. Glaring at Sakura, she looked as if she was going to jump up and attack her, but Sakura's next action stopped her. Sakura lifted her leg up and positioned it over Ino's injured foot. Sakura looked Ino in the eyes and told her, "Ino, please forfeit. I don't want to continue injuring you, but I will if you refuse to give up." Ino looked Sakura in the eyes and told her, "I refuse to forfeit, forehead," and brought her hands up in a seal, her palms out, thumbs touching the tips of each other, index and middle fingers bent and tips touching. Her ring and pinky fingers straightened. "Shintenshin no jutsu, ninja art, mind transfer jutsu," Ino shouted and then fell limp. Sakura's eyes widened and then they went back to normal. Most of the genin were confused except for Gaara, Neji, Sasuke, Naruto, Hinata, Choji, and Shikamaru. Ino had transferred her mind into Sakura's body, overshadowing Sakura. Ino now had control over Sakura's body. However, there was something that Ino didn't count on. Sakura's mental fortitude. They saw Sakura's eyes widen and then she roared. Suddenly, Ino jolted back into her body and Sakura stopped her shouting. Apparently, Sakura was in her mind and attacked Ino. It also didn't help that there were two Sakuras attacking Ino, one of which was the fangirl side of Sakura and the other being the real Sakura. Talk about dueling personalities. Just not dueling each other. Sakura then regained her composure while Ino was still on the ground and stomped on Ino's injured foot 3 times. Sakura then sent a right kick to Ino's head when she shot up from the pain. Ino's eyes rolled into the back of her head due to the force of the kick, and then she fell into unconsciousness. Hayate checked on her and saw that she was knocked out. Yamanaka Ino is unable to continue. The winner is Haruno Sakura, Hayate said as medics came to collect Ino. Sakura went with them to speak with Ino when she awoke. On the balcony, the genin were talking about the match they witnessed. "I'm shocked Sakura won that match," Choji said, impressed with Sakura. "Personally, I expected the two of them to knock each other out and end in a draw." Shino said stoically, "Oh come on, it couldn't have possibly ended like that. Only one of them was a fangirl." Tamari stated, throwing her own 2 cents into the conversation. Everybody from Konoha just looked at her deadpanned. "You are so wrong," they all thought. "I wonder who's next up," Naruto and Hinata thought after they stopped their deadpan look. They didn't have long to wait as the next names came up. Yakushi Kabuto versus Tatsumaki Murasaki. Will Yakushi, Kabuto and Tatsumaki Murasaki, please come down for your match? Hayate said. Kabuto and Murasaki walked down the stairs to the arena floor. They stood facing each other. The third match, Yakushi Kabuto versus Tatsumaki Murasaki. "Hajime," Hayate said and backed away. Murasaki quickly pulled out her blowgun and shot a dart at Kabuto's chest. Kabuto, seeing it, quickly dodged to his right to avoid it. What he didn't expect was Murasaki to appear and deliver a spinning right kick to his face. Kabuto was sent onto the ground, sliding a good few feet. "She's faster than I anticipated, but I have to put some effort into this match," Kabuto thought as he started to stand up. When Kabuto got to his feet, he pulled out 2 kunai and rushed Murasaki. Kabuto sent slashes at her, which she nimbly dodged. After trying a slash to take her head off, to which Murasaki ducked under, Murasaki hit him in his left leg quickly with a dart that she used with her blowgun. Kabuto realized that the dart was covered in a knockout poison. "I'm impressed that you are still standing. The effects of the poison are instantaneous on most people. But sadly, this is the end for you," Murasaki said, and then pulled out her geisha fans. With a quick swing of both downwards and a yell of "Mabiki Kyofu," decimating gale, Murasaki sent a large wall of wind at Kabuto, which sent him flying into the arena wall. Kabuto was embedded into the wall, stuck. "Do you forfeit?" Murasaki asked. Kabuto struggled to get out of the wall but was too embedded into it. "I forfeit," Kabuto said while inwardly smirking. "I got information and I was able to get rid of some suspicion. Orochimaru-sama will be so impressed," he thought. Yakushi Kabuto has forfeited. The winner is Tatsumaki Murasaki, Height said. Murasaki went back to her team, who congratulated her on her victory as the computer started cycling through more names. The computer chose Uzumaki Naruto versus Kinyuta Dosu. "Will Uzumaki Naruto and Kinyuta Dosu please enter the ring?" Height said as the 2 genin made their way down to the floor. The 4th match, Uzumaki Naruto versus Kinyuta Dosu. "Hajime," Height said and jumped back. "Well, it looks like I get to take you out for what you did to us in the forest," Dosu said, relishing in the fact that he can have his vengeance. "Enough chit-chat, I'm just gonna send you back crying to your crypt mummy," Naruto said with a smirk. Dosu scowled at the quip to his appearance. "I've had it with these damn mummy jokes. Now you die," Dosu shouted, rushing to Naruto with his gauntlet. Just as he was about to close in, Naruto disappeared and reappeared behind Dosu. Naruto sent a right kick at Dosu's back and sent him into a wall. Dosu hit the wall but bounced off it rather quickly. Naruto made a cross seal and shouted "Kage Bunshin no Jutsu," Shadow Clone Jutsu. 10 Naruto clones appeared, much to the shock of all the Konoha genin minus his team and Niji's team. The clones rushed at Dosu. 2 clones appeared in front of Dosu, punching him in the gut. Dosu bent forward from the pain only to see 2 more clones sliding on the ground and kicking him up into the air. Next, another clone jumped up and kicked him into the air even higher. The last 3 clones jumped up and surrounded him. 2 grabbed his arms and pulled them to the side, while the 3rd started punching him repeatedly in his stomach and face with a boxing-style combo. Soon enough, the clones let go and threw him to the ground. Dosu crashed to the floor in pain but was still struggling to get up. "I'm getting bored over here, toilet paper face. You should give up before you get injured even worse," Naruto told Dosu. Dosu stood up and glared at the boy. "Get bent, you son of a bitch," Dosu shouted and charged. Well charged, as well as someone who just got the crap beaten out of him and then thrown from the air to the floor could. Naruto decided to end it now. First, he created another Kage Bunshin, Shadow Clone. Then they both started going through hand seals. Horse Dragon Tiger Snake Monkey Dragon Tiger, Katan. Kane Hoshiki no Jutsu, Fire Style. Flamethrower Jutsu. The original Naruto shouted and then sent a large stream of fire at Dosu from his mouth, much to the shock of everyone minus his team and the Hokage. The clone of Naruto also went through his own hand seals. Tiger Ox Dog Rabbit Snake, Futon. Daitapa, Wind Style, Great Breakthrough. The clone shouted and sent a large blast of wind into the fire, making the fire even more powerful, much to the same people's shock. They all had the same thought. When the hell did Naruto become this strong? Dosu was hit by the fire but jumped out quickly and landing away from the flames. "Not bad, but I will end you here," Dosu said, but stopped when he saw everyone looking at him oddly. "What's everyone staring at?" he asked. Dosu, you're on fire," Zaku told him. "Thanks, but I haven't really gotten started yet," Dosu said, causing everyone to sweat drop. Dosu, your scarf's on fire," Kin said. "What? Dosu said, and then looked at his scarf, seeing it was on fire, which then spread to his pants. Dosu started screaming and running, causing people to sweat drop even more. "Stop, drop, and roll for Kami's sake, Dosu," Zaku shouted. Dosu then did just that, and the fire died down. But his scarf was now burned to a crisp and his pants were now singed. "You bastard, that was my favorite scarf. And these were my favorite pants," Dosu said, angered and glaring at Naruto. "Oh, sorry, does it burn you up that I destroyed your clothes?" Naruto asked with a smirk, causing people, Hinata included, to sweat drop at the bad pun. "Oh, Kami, enough with the jokes," Dosu shouted, charging again. Naruto decided to end the battle with his sword. Dosu smirked, thinking he could get Naruto easily in close combat. Naruto, however, dashed the hopes by channeling chakra into the seal and elongating the blade to 10 feet. Up in the stands, Tenten felt like going all fangirl over the sword. Naruto then raised the sword and shouted, "Yeah, that's right, I'm about to go Sephiroth on your ass." Dosu paled and then wet his pants and fainted in pure terror. Kinyuta Dosu is unable to cough. Continue. The cough winner is Uzumaki, cough, Naruto. And could the medics, cough, come and take this cough kid away? Also change his pants. Hayate said. Naruto started walking up after absorbing the chakra from the sword. All the genin were shocked at some of the skill he showed. Well, all except for Hinata and Sasuke, who congratulated the blonde on his victory. Well, Hinata kissed him to the point he lost some oxygen for his victory. "I'm not having the fights continue until the mess is cleaned up," the Hokage said. "Yes, Hokage-sama. We'll take a 5-minute break while we clean up the mess," Hayate said as he left to find a janitor. The genins decided to talk with each other. "Okay, so far Sasuke-san, Kiba, Murasaki, Kabuto-san, Sakura-san, Ino-san, Dosa-san, and Naruto-san have fought, leaving Hinata-san, Shikamaru-san, Choji-san, Niji-san, Tenten-san, Lee-san, Kin-san, Zaku-san, Gara-san, Kankuro-san, Temari-san, Yoroi-san, Misumi-san, and I are left to fight," Shino stated. "Indeed, Shino. I wonder who will fight next," Shikamaru said. "It won't matter. Fate is on my side and has deemed me the winner," Niji said arrogantly. "Right." They all chorused. "I hope I am next so that I may show my springtime of youth," Lee shouted with fire in his eyes. "Yash Lee. When you are up, your fires of youth will shine brighter than the stars and burn brighter than the stars themselves. Let the power of youth explode more than Deidara the Mad Bomber's work," Guy shouted. Meanwhile, in a hideout in Mizu, no Kuni, a blonde man with a half ponytail, and the rest hanging down freely over his left eye with his right eye visible, wearing a black cloak covered in red clouds, suddenly shivered in horror. "I have the strangest feeling someone has compared my art to something horrifyingly bad. I must find them and end their lives for the sake of art. Deidara thought as he went to the bathroom to pull a prank on Kisame. The exploding toilet was a classic. Back with the Chunin exams preliminaries, the genin participating were wondering who would be fighting next. They didn't have long to wait when they saw a janitor mop off the urine on the floor courtesy of Dosu. After 2 minutes, the floor was clean. "Okay, now we can continue the preliminaries," Hayate said as the computer started to cycle through names. It landed on Hyuga Niji versus Akimichi Choji. "Will Hyuga Niji and Akimichi Choji please come down to the arena?" Hayate called for them to enter the arena. Niji walked down the stairs arrogantly while Choji was nervous. "I'm not so sure about this," Choji said with some fear in his voice. "If you win, I'll buy you some barbecue," Asuma said, smoking a cigarette. The cigarette then flew out of his mouth from a gust of wind. Apparently Choji had run down to the arena faster than with the Hiratian, flying Thunder God technique. "Let's go so I can get my barbecue," Choji shouted, ready to fight for food and causing everyone to sweat drop. "Okay, the 5th match of the preliminaries. Hyuga Niji versus Akimichi, Choji." "Hajime," Hayate said and jumped back. "Give up now. Fate has already declared me the victor," Niji told the boy entering the Juken stance. "Never. Baika no jutsu, expansion jutsu," Choji yelled, and his stomach enlarged into a giant round ball. Choji's arms, legs, and head then went inside his sleeves. He then sent chakra from out of his sleeves to propel him forward into a large roll. Choji then shouted, Nakuden Sansha, human boulder, turning into a large boulder rolling around the floor and rushing at Niji. Niji dodged to the right, to which Choji followed still as a boulder. Niji kept jumping and zigzagging to dodge the large green boulder. Niji then got in front of a wall in the arena. Choji then rushed at him as a boulder, and at the last moment Niji jumped over the boulder, which crashed into the wall and became stuck. Byakugan! Niji shouted and rushed at Choji still in his expanded state. Niji then started hitting Choji's tenketsu, chakra points, while he was still expanded. After hitting 6, Choji lost his expansion and returned to his normal size. Niji then hit 12 more of Choji's tenketsu until he couldn't move right. Akimichi Choji is unable to continue. The winner is Hyuga, Niji. Hayate said as Asuma came and brought Choji up the stairs to rest. I warned him, fate had already declared me the victor. Had he given up, this wouldn't have happened. Niji said arrogantly as he went up the stairs to rejoin his team, angering a lot of genin. Even Shino and Shikamaru. Hinata just looked at Niji with sadness because of what he had become. Before anyone could say anything, they heard the computer pick names. It landed on Tsuchikin versus Sabaku no Temari, Temari of the desert. Cough. Will Tsuchikin and Sabaku no, Temari please come down for the match? Hayate beckoned them down. Kin and Temari walked down the steps arrogantly ready to fight. The 6th match, Tsuchikin versus Sabaku no Temari, Temari of the desert. Hajime, Hayate said and jumped back. Kin reached for some senbon and threw them at Temari. Temari, however, opened her fan, showing one circle where she opened it and swung it a little to send the senbons away. I opened one moon. When I open all 3, this match ends. Temari explained, smirking. Oh please fangirl, you don't stand a chance against me. Kin told her arrogantly, noticing Temari frowned. After that remark on calling her a fangirl, Kankuro paled. He knew it wasn't in the actual context, but there is one rule when it comes to Temari. Never ever call her a fangirl, or you risk loss of teeth, limbs, or life. Temari decided to end the match quickly. She opened her fan all the way and swung with a great force just as Kin threw more senbons at her. Kemaitashi no jutsu, sickle weasel technique. Temari shouted, swinging her fan at Kin and creating a large torrent of wind that lifted her up into the air and started tearing cut after cut into her flesh. Along with Kin, the senbons she threw were also lifted into the air and sent into Kin due to the wind. After the wind subsided, Kin was covered in bleeding cuts and fell to the ground unconscious. Tsuchikin is unable to continue. The winner is Sabaku no Temari, Temari of the desert, Hayate said. Temari closed her fan and then went up the stairs to stand with her brothers and sensei as Kin was taken away by medics. The computer then cycled through more names. It landed on Tsurugi Misumi versus Nara Shikamaru. Will Tsurugi Misumi and Nara Shikamaru please come down for your match? Hayate called for them to come down. Misumi jumped down over the railing ready to fight while Shikamaru was sleeping against the railing. Could someone wake him? Hayate asked. I'll do it, Naruto said, walking over to him. Naruto then picked him up by his shirt and threw him over the railing. Unfortunately, Shikamaru was still asleep even after hitting the ground. Oh I know, Naruto said with an evil smile that made everyone pale. Well, Anko grinned maniacally. Naruto went through hand seals. Boarbird, Oxbird, Raitun, Shogeki Shadow, lightning style, shock shot, Naruto said and fired a bolt of lightning from his palm at the sleeping Shikamaru, who yelped in pain. He then awoke. Okay, who woke me up from the greatest dream ever? I was playing human shogi, Shikamaru asked, growling annoyed while everyone was sweat dropping at what he dreamed of. Seriously, who dreams up something like that? What's next, dreaming of sleeping? Actually, it's a Nara we're talking about, so it might not be that far off. Now that Nara Shikamaru is awake, we can start the match, Hayate said. Huh? What now? Shikamaru asked, confused. Less talking, more fighting, Misumi shouted, wanting to fight. The 7th match, Tsurugi Misumi versus Nara Shikamaru. Hajime, Hayate said, getting the match started and jumping back. All right, let's go, Misumi said, and then stretched his right arm out. No, literally it stretched like Mr. Fantastic and went straight at Shikamaru to punch him. Shikamaru jumped to the side to dodge it. This is really troublesome, Shikamaru said, annoyed. Misumi then sent a stretching left leg at Shikamaru, who dodged again. Misumi then sent a left stretch punch at Shikamaru, who sidestepped the attack and pulled out a kunai and slashed Misumi's outstretched arm. Misumi was pulling his arm back, but it was too slow and he had a large gash on his arm when he got his arm back in its place. So his arm is slow to retract back in its place. Shikamaru thought, analyzing his opponent's weaknesses. And his elongated arm casts a shadow. I have an idea. Shikamaru thought, ready to put a plan in action. Gore, you'll pay for that, you bastard, Misumi shouted in rage, stretching his right leg in a kick. Shikamaru sidestepped the kick, grabbed the elongated leg, jumped up in the air after pushing off the leg. After getting in the air, he threw 3 kunai down from above. Misumi jumped back from the kunai with his leg still being stretched because he couldn't retract it in time to dodge the kunai. Shikamaru landed on the ground and quickly created the rat seal with his hands. Misumi suddenly felt like he couldn't move. He then noticed that his arms moved into the rat hand seal on his own, as he had no control over his movements. What the dash? Misumi didn't understand what was happening at all. Hekage no jutsu, shadow possession jutsu, successful. I analyzed that your stretching powers have a flaw in terms of stretching. It is a little slow to retract. So I fired through kunai above to stall you so you wouldn't have a chance to retract it. Then when I landed, I used the shadow under your leg to elongate my own in order to connect them. With this technique, we share our movements. It was troublesome, but it worked in the end. Shikamaru explained. So what will you do now? Misumi asked as he tried to find a way to get out of this predicament. There wasn't any way to get out of it. It's quite simple, Shikamaru started, as he drew some shuriken with his right hand, causing Misumi to do the same. I will throw these shuriken at you and you will throw those at me, Shikamaru said, causing Misumi to pale. But then we'll both be hit, Misumi cried in terror. Well then forfeit and we won't have this problem, Shikamaru told him, giving him a chance to forfeit the match before their lives became forfeit. Misumi glared at Shikamaru after that remark. So that's what you're doing. This is all a bluff to get me to quit. Well, it won't work on me, Misumi shouted, smirking under his mask. Have it your way, Shikamaru said, and then threw the shuriken at Misumi, causing Misumi to throw the shuriken he held. Everyone was speechless at what he did and Misumi was terrified. Are you mad? You'll kill us both like this, Misumi shouted at Shikamaru, who was smirking, and then he started to bend backwards to dodge the shuriken. Ha, big deal, I'll dodge them too, Misumi said as he also started to bend backwards, until his head ended up crashing into the wall, knocking him unconscious. Dodged the shurikens, mind you, but still knocked out. Ha, I hoped you would have forfeited, but I used the kunais to move you back towards the wall in case it didn't work, Shikamaru said after dodging the shurikens successfully. Shikamaru deactivated his Kage no jutsu, shadow possession jutsu, and Misumi fell to the floor, his legs still stretched and falling to the ground with him. Tsurugi Misumi is cough, unable to continue. The cough winner is Nara Shikamaru, Hayate said as Shikamaru was heading back to the stage. Everyone was impressed by the strategy he played, especially one particular blonde Suna, Sand, Kunoichi with a fan on her back. She was impressed by the Nara's strategic skills. Apparently, unlike most Kunoichi, she valued intelligence in a man, something many shinobi lack. After Shikamaru got back up in the stands, the computer started cycling through names. It landed on Hyuga Hinata versus Tenten. Would Hyuga Hinata, cough, and Tenten please come down for your match? Hayate called for them to enter the ring. The two Kunoichi looked at each other in shock that they would fight. They were friends. It seemed like Kami was screwing with them. Niji smirked, knowing that Tenten would beat Hinata. He believed that his failure of a cousin would fall before her skills easily. Hinata started to look nervous, but Naruto held her hand to calm her down. It'll be okay, Hinata-chan. I know you can do it, Naruto told his girlfriend, confidently restoring her confidence. Hi, yes, I can win. Thank you, Naruto-kun, Hinata said, then pecked the boy on the cheek and jumped into the arena. Tenten following in the same fashion. The 8th cough, match Hyuga Hinata versus Tenten. Hajime, Hayate said and jumped back. Well, I never thought we'd fight Hinata-chan. Guess we'll have to do our best. Tenten said to Hinata. Hi, yes. I will not back down. I will fight with everything I have, Tenten-chan. Hinata replied back, entering her jukin, gentle fist, stance. Tenten pulled out 4 kunai from her weapons pouch and threw them at Hinata, who dodged them by jumping to her left. Tenten then pulled out 6 shuriken from her pouch, throwing them at Hinata as she was landing on her feet. Hinata dodged the shuriken by doing a matrix-style backbend. Hinata then got back to a standing position and rushed at Tenten. Quickly, she closed the distance between them and sent a left jukin, gentle fist, strike with 2 fingers at Tenten's chest. Tenten bent slightly to her left to dodge. However, she didn't expect Hinata to send a right kick to her exposed ribs due to the bending. The kick shocked many. No Hyuga ever used their feet. It was an odd thing for anyone of the clan to do. Niji was scowling seeing this action. She defiles the jukin, gentle fist, by using her feet. It is an abomination. Now I shall enjoy killing her even more. But it will be after the exams, as Tenten will crush her in battle. Niji, though maliciously, Tenten walked a few steps away from Hinata due to the kick. Tenten then jumped away from Hinata to stay at a range. Tenten pulled out 5 more kunai from her weapons pouch while still in the air and threw them at Hinata. Hinata jumped to her right side only to see 5 incoming shuriken that Tenten fired when she dodged. Hinata did another matrix-style backbend to dodge the incoming shuriken. Hinata then pulled out her sais while Tenten pulled out a scroll. Tenten unsealed what was in the scroll and out popped a metal bow staff. The bow staff was silver in color with a black-colored tiger stripe design along the staff. Tenten and Hinata rushed at each other. Hinata sent a slash with her left thigh. Tenten ducked under the slash and sent her bow staff at Hinata's left leg. Hinata jumped over the strike and kicked Tenten in the head as Tenten started standing up. Tenten was sent staggering from the kick as Hinata landed and slashed with her right thigh at Tenten's stomach. The thigh hit and cut through Tenten's shirt and causing a wound to her stomach. Tenten was bleeding but was not giving up. She jumped back and pulled out 2 scrolls. You're good, Hinata-chan, but it's time I end it. Take this. Tenten shouted and put the 2 unopened scrolls on the ground in an upright position and started going through hand seals, tiger, dragon, monkey hair, and then crossed her arms. Sashoryu, rising twin dragons. Tenten shouted. The scrolls shot open and unraveled, going into the air, spinning around Tenten and going up extremely high in a puff of smoke that looked like 2 dragons twisting around each other. Tenten jumped in between the 2 unraveled scroll and started spinning around, unsealing weapons from the scroll. She threw a barrage of about 100 kunai and shuriken right at Hinata. Hinata, seeing this, decided to use her personal technique. Juho, Yuzu no Yasi, gentle step, vortex palm. Hinata shouted, holding her palm out at the incoming weapons. She used it to blow them away from her back at Tenten. Tenten, being a few steps ahead, had ninja wire wrapped around all the weapons so she could control them if it is needed. Tenten pulled all the weapons away from her so that they wouldn't hit her. Unfortunately, her technique ended, and when she landed, she had to dodge Hinata's sais that she threw at her. Hinata used this as a distraction and rushed her using her agile and flexible Juho, gentle step, to block off 15 of Tenten's Tenketsu chakra points. After receiving 3 strikes to each arm, 4 strikes to the abdomen, 2 strikes to each leg, and a final palm strike to her stomach, Tenten fell to her knees exhausted. You win, Hinata-chan. I concede the victory to you. Congrats, you earned it. Tenten said, tired and breathing heavily. Thank you, Tenten-chan, Hinata said, bowing formally to her opponent, smiling at her. Hinata then picked Tenten up, wrapped Tenten's arm around her shoulder, and brought her up the stairs to be with her team as she went back to her own. Not before receiving a glare from Niji, much to Naruto's ire. Tenten has forfeited. The winner, is Hyuga, Hinata. Hayate said. Then the computer started cycling through more names. It landed on Aburame Shino and Abumi Zaku. Will Aburame Shino and Abumi, Zaku please, enter the ring? Hayate called them down for their match. Good luck, Shino, Murasaki told her teammate as Kurenai nodded, also wishing him luck. Thank you, but it is rather logical to know that I have already won the match, Shino stoically spoke, looking at the broken-armed teen. What was that, you four-eyed freak? Now I'm going to crush you like an ant. Zaku shouted, pissed. You wouldn't know it, but Shino was pissed behind the sunglasses. You will regret saying that, Shino told the boy. Whatever, Zaku said, jumping over the railing into the ring, while Shino walked down the stairs. The ninth, match adhering, Shino versus Abumi Zaku. Hajime. Hey8 called for the match to start. Hey, I guess I get to crush you like a bug. Zaku told Shino with a sadistic look in his eyes and an evil smirk. You know you shouldn't underestimate insects. Shino told him stoically. Like I care what about what you say, freak. Let's end this, Zaku said, holding his right hand out at Shino. Zankaha. Slicing sound wave. Zaku shouted, shooting a blast of air from then pipe in his arm at Shino. Or at least that was what he was aiming for, but something malfunctioned and his left arm blew up with the blast imploding. Seriously, his arm was blown off of his body and was no more. The only thing he had was a stump and a piece of implanted pipe sill in the stump that was once his left arm. Apparently Shino had used the Kikeichu, parasitic insects, that inhabit his body to plug up Zaku's arm so it would explode. Aha, ag! Zaku shouted in pure pain and anguish. I told you not to underestimate insects. Do you want to know why I said that? Shino asked stoically while walking towards Zaku. Why? Zaku asked at the sunglasses wearing teen in pure terror. Shino then got in front of him quickly and punched Zaku square in the face, knocking him out. Because insects tend to bite. Shino answered wisely. That was for insulting insects and those who appreciate them, Shino said to the unconscious boy. Meanwhile, in Takigakure, a young teenage girl with short green hair with an orange clip in hair and orange eyes suddenly had a feeling that a fellow insect fan had just represented their kind in battle and won. I must find this person as he could be the king to my insect queen, she thought while deciding to keep an eye out for this person and catch them, so to speak. It's not like she was going to use the human-sized butterfly net in her closet to catch them. I mean, that would be crazy. Back at the arena, Shino started walking away from the down Zaku up the stairs as Hey8 called the match. Abumi, Zaku is unable to continue. The winner is, Aburame, Shino, Hey8 said as medics came to collect the one-armed boy. Congratulations, Shino, though that was pretty brutal. Kurenai said to her student. I mean, he did blow up someone's arm. Don't worry, Shino, I think you did a great job at disarming your opponent. Naruto told him with a grin, causing Hinata to giggle a little and everyone else to sweat drop at that. Naruto-kun, enough with the jokes. Zaka-san just needs helping hand now. Hinata said, giggling as Naruto chuckled at that. Everyone else sweat dropped even more at the joke. Well, Anko had a smirk on her face. They all stopped when they saw the computer land on the next two names. Akato Yoroi versus Sabaku no Kankuro of the desert. Will, Akato Yoroi and Sabaku no, Kankuro of the desert, please enter the ring? Hey8 called them down for their fight. My time to shine, Kankuro said as he started walking down the stairs. Kankuro Gaara called his brother, effectively stopping him in his steps. If you embarrass us, I will kill you, Gaara said unemotionally, causing Kankuro, Temari, and their sensei Baki to shiver at the tone Gaara used. Alright, Jigara, Kankuro said in fear as he then turned back to walking down to the arena. So you ready, Catman? Yoroi asked Kankuro after he jumped over the railing to get into the arena. Hey, I'll enjoy crushing you, Kankuro told the boy. The 10th, match Akato Yoroi versus Sabaku no Kankuro of the desert. Hajime, Hey8 said and jumped back. Yoroi rushed at Kankuro with his hand covered in chakra. Yoroi attacked the stunned Kankuro by gripping his head with the chakra-covered hand and squeezed Kankuro's head. He was draining Kankuro's chakra as he held him. He squeezed it hard enough that everyone heard a crack. Everyone thought that he snapped Kankuro's neck. Hey, you were weak, kitty cat, Yoroi said after letting go of Kankuro's body. Kankuro stood up and they all saw Kankuro's face crack and fall off. It revealed a puppet underneath the shell that was a fake body. The puppet had 3 eyes, for arms, jagged teeth, and spiky brown hair. The puppet wrapped its arms around the stunned Yoroi, and then blades popped out of the puppet's joints and stabbed Yoroi. Kankuro then jumped out of the bandaged case that was originally on the back of the puppet. Kankuro was apparently controlling the puppet with chakra strings. He took advantage of Yori's shock to defeat him. I'd get him some medics. Karasu's, crows, blades were poisoned. Kankuro told Hayate. Akado Yoroi is unable to continue. The winner is, Sabaku no Kankuro, Kankuro of the desert. Hayate said as Kankuro went back up the stairs happy that he won as quickly as he did. After all, a puppeteer doesn't show their best at the beginning of a show. It's time for the final match of the preliminaries. Will Sabaku no Gara of the desert, and Rock Lee please come down for your match? Hayate called them down. Gara wordlessly walked down the stairs slowly, and Lee was well. Finally, it is my time to let the flames of my youth out and set the room ablaze, Lee declared with fire in his eyes. Seriously, his pupils were on fire. Yes, Lee, your time has finally come. Let the fires of your youth explode. Meanwhile, in the Akatsuki hideout, H01, a certain blonde man sneezed loudly, followed by the sound of an explosion. Then there was a shout of, Deidara, I'm going to cut you to ribbons for blowing up my toilet. A blue-skinned man with shark teeth and a bandaged wrapped sword yelled as he rushed at Deidara in the hallway trying to slash him. Calm down, Kisame. A man with black hair and red eyes told the blue-skinned man trying to hold him back. Damn it, Deidara, now I have to use our money to buy Kisame a new toilet, and I have to pay for the pipes to be fixed. I'll kill you for making me spend money. A man wearing a hood and face mask with green eyes yelled as he was also running at Deidara. All of you shut the fucking hell up. I'm trying to pray and hear you fucktards. A silver-haired man yelled at them all, getting ready to kill them with his 3-bladed scythe. Everybody please stop fighting, we're trying to eat over here. A plant man with half his body white and the other half black said as he was trying to eat a kirigakure. Hidden Mist Village. Ninja they captured. The ninja was being rotated on a stick. He was tied to over a fire pit with an apple in his mouth. Sai, come on everyone, we need to make plans to capture the bijou. Tailed beasts. So stop the fighting. Just like me, Leader-sama hates waiting, a man said. He was large, had a face mask covering the bottom half of his face. He also had 5 strands of hair spiked up and no other type of hair. He also had a metal scorpion-like bladed tail. Everybody shut up. We need to make plans so we can rule the world. A man with orange hair and covered in piercings shouted as he entered the room where the hallway that the commotion was happening in. Everybody just shut the hell up. A female voice shouted, stopping everyone. They turned and saw a woman with blue hair and an origami flower in her hair. She had piercings on her face as well. I was trying to take a goddamn nap, but now that I'm up, I'm going to kick all of your asses to the ground. She shouted as she had 1,000 paper shuriken floating behind her. SSSSSHHHHITTTTTT. They all thought and started running. They didn't get far, and the worst part for them was that the woman was on her time of the month. Let's just say being the only female in the group is annoying at times, and that the guys all needed to get the crap kicked out of them at times. Back in Konoha, Lee and Gara were both standing in the ring getting ready to fight. Lee then caught the cork that was sent flying at him from Gara's gourd. I see that you could not wait. So shall we get started? Lee asked as he threw the cork off to the side. Yes, we should start, Gara said. The final match of the preliminaries. Sabaku no Gara of the desert versus Rock, Lee. Hajime, Hayate said, and then jumped away to avoid the fight. Sand started spilling out from the opening in Gara's gourd. It fell to the floor and formed a circle around him, much to the shock of everyone not from Tsunade, the village hidden in the sand. Enjicha Gara shouted in pain as he gripped his head with his hands. You will prove my existence. He shouted manically at Lee as he sent a wave of sand at Lee. Lee jumped to the left of the sand to avoid it. Gara then sent another blast of sand at Lee, who started running and stepped to the left as he dodged the wave of sand. Lee was now in front of Gara and sent a spinning back kick at Gara. Konoha Senpu, Leaf Whirlwind. Lee shouted as he sent the kick. Unfortunately, a wall of sand came up from the ground blocked Lee's kick. Gaara sent another wave of sand at Lee, who jumped back to avoid it. Gaara sent more waves at Lee, who started jumping away by doing backflips to dodge them. Lee then pulled out a kunai. After dodging the sand, Ken started cutting the sand that was sent at him. Gaara quickly had enough and sent a large wave of sand at Lee. Lee looked to have been hit by it, but was revealed to be back flipping in the air and landed on the head of one of the statues. He won't be able to do anything unless he uses ninjutsu or jinjutsu, so why does he keep using taijutsu? Shikamaru asked, confused as Choji, who woke up a little while ago, looked on in confusion at Lee's strategy. It would be a good idea if Lee could use ninjutsu or jinjutsu, but he can't. He only has taijutsu, Guy said, smiling. Troublesome, Shikamaru said, knowing that at this rate will be beaten, if not outright killed. All right, Lee, take him off. Guy shouted at Lee after he landed on the statue. Huh? But Guy-sensei, you said that I should only do as a last resort and if the lives of very important people are at stake. Lee told his mentor in confusion. Yes, but this is an exception. Guy shouted to his student. Really? Really? Lee shouted in excitement. He then sat down on the statue's head and removed his leg warmers to reveal ankle weights, confusing everyone minus Guy and Lee. How old-fashioned, Shikamaru said. Ankle weights, Anko said, confused. Basic training equipment? Kakashi said, also confused. This is going to be good, Naruto said to Hinata, who nodded, knowing something was going to happen. This is going to be totally lame. Kankuro said, ah, that is better. Now I will be able to move freely. Lee said, holding a weight in each hand as he dropped them off the statue. Please, you think you can beat Gaara by dropping some weight, Temari thought. And then the weights hit the ground, causing a large crater to appear where each weight landed and created a giant dust cloud. Part of the floor also cracked and the room shook like there was an earthquake. Temari, Kankuro, Baki, Asuma, Choji, Shikamaru, Kurenai, Shino, Murasaki, Sasuke, and Anko were shocked beyond all belief by what they witnessed. Guy, you are too much, Kakashi thought, sweat dropping. Only Guy would have someone use that much weight. Hinata and Naruto looked on in interest. They were shinobi and had lived weird lives already. And they were 13 for Kami's sake. This kind of stuff really shouldn't be that shocking after what they've been through. All right, now go, Lee. Guy shouted, giving Lee a thumbs up. Yes, Guy-sensei, Lee said as he disappeared and reappeared behind Gaara. He was so quick it seemed like it was teleportation to some. Lee sent punches and kicks after disappearing and reappearing at various points around Gaara. But each time the sand would protect Gaara. He came extremely close when he sent a punch at Gaara's face, but his arm passed through his face when it became sand temporarily. So fast, Kakashi said, impressed. I can't believe he was that fast, Shikamaru said. I'm getting dizzy trying to watch him, Choji said. Geez, Lee is ridiculously fast now. Naruto said, impressed with Lee's speed. Indeed, Naruto-kun. I'm shocked that he was truly this fast, Hinata said to her boyfriend, also impressed. I can't believe that he went easy on us during our fight. Sasuke said, a little agitated at that fact. I can't believe that a genin has this type of speed, Anko said, impressed. Yes, Lee, let the power of youth explode, Guy yelled to his student. Meanwhile, at the Akatsuki hideout, Achoo-en. Deidara sneezed. Back at the preliminaries, right? Lee shouted with fire in his eyes. He then delivered a flipping axe kick to the back of Gaara's head. Gaara now had a cut on his face but was not breaking. No way, Baki said in surprise. Gaara's been hit. Temari thought, not believing it. Lee went back to his fighting stance. Ready to continue? Lee questioned. Hee ha ha ha. Gaara started laughing maniacally as his face started to crack from where the cut was. His face was falling off because it was a shell of sand covering him. As it fell, he had an evil grin plastered on his face. Oh, Kankuro said to himself. It looks like Gaara is using his Suna no Yoroi, sand armor. Things must be really bad. Kankuro thought in pure terror. That armor has a huge weakness. It takes a lot of chakra to maintain, so for Gaara to use it means that Gaara's being pushed pretty far. Oh no, the demon must be getting free. I've seen that look in Gaara's eyes before, Temari thought in fright. Soon the armor fell off, leaving a completely unscathed Gaara, shocking everyone not from Tsunade, the hidden sand village. Well, is that all? Gaara asked, looking bored. I guess I have no choice but to use the emote range, primary lotus. Lee thought, looking at Guy silently asking if he can use it. Guy's answer a grin and a thumbs up. Lee smiled, then started unraveling his bandages that were wrapped around his arms. The bandages were still on his arms mostly, but each arm had a long string of bandages touching the ground now. Here I go, Lee shouted as he started running at his improved speed around Gaara in a circle. After a few seconds of this, Lee appeared in front of Gaara. He then kicked Gaara with a sliding right kick. It connected with Gaara's chin, sending him up in the air. Unfortunately, it was like a little hop due to the sand weighing him down. In the stands, they were in awe at the match. They were witnessing. Damn it! Bushy Brow's kick wasn't high enough. Naruto shouted in frustration. Calm down, Naruto-kun, Hinata told her boyfriend. Sorry, Hinata-chan, but it's just a bit frustrating, Naruto said to her. Just wait, Naruto, and watch in amazement as Lee's flames of youth burst and soar like a phoenix. Guy shouted, giving a thumbs up to the blonde. Back in the arena, Lee jumped up and sent a left kick to Gaara's abdomen and sent him up higher, if only another hop-like length. Lee then sent a right kick to Gaara's abdomen, sending him the same length upwards as the previous kick. Lee then repeatedly did that until Gaara was nearly at the ceiling. All the while, the sand circle that was around Gaara was trying to get to him in the air but wasn't fast enough to get to him. In the stands, what an impressive series of kicks, Kakashi said in awe at what Lee was doing. Damn, this is going to be good, Naruto said with Hinata nodding. Sasuke looked on in amazement. Lee was far stronger than he let on. And Sasuke knew that Lee was going to use what he would have used on him during their fight had Naruto not interfered and saved him from the move. He wanted to know what the move was. Lee was still sending kick after kick while Guy closed his eyes and clasped his hands together to pray. Lee then felt a sharp pain in his leg, and Gaara noticed, and created a hollow shell to take his place. Kakashi, Anko, Naruto, Hinata, and Sasuke all noticed what Gaara was planning but couldn't say anything, or else Lee would get disqualified for them helping him. Lee wrapped up Gaara in the bandages and started diving downwards while spinning. He then pile-drove Gaara into the ground while shouting, Omote Renge, primary lotus. There was a large crater where they landed, and Gaara was covered in cracks and looked to be unmoving. Sasuke paled and then realized that he owed Naruto big time for saving him from that move. Seriously, he would have been pile-driven from the sky into the ground basically if it wasn't for Naruto. No way! Kankuro shouted in shock. It can't be. Gaara was? Temari couldn't even finish her sentence. That guy isn't dead, is he? Shikamaru asked in shock at what he just witnessed. Gaara then cracked and revealed himself to be a hollow shell of sand that he substituted with. What? Lee asked. What? Guy asked as well. What they? Shikamaru, Choji, and Murasaki all said in surprise. Okay, this is getting really troublesome, Shikamaru said in shock at what he just witnessed. But I don't understand. When did he? Guy started to say but was cut off by Kakashi. When you prayed, Lee closed his eyes from the pain in his legs. That's when Gaara took advantage and replaced himself. Kakashi told him as Naruto, Hinata, Sasuke, and Anko nodded in agreement. Make me feel alive. A voice shouted behind Lee in the arena. It was Gaara who had sand falling off of him. As he sent a wave of sand at Lee. Lee dodged it, albeit rather sluggishly, barely dodging by side-stepping to the right. Lee then dodged another through the same way and then jumped away from another. Unfortunately, he was gripped by his leg by a sand tentacle and thrown into a wall. Lee was then hit by a wave of sand as he was down and was then hit by another. I don't get it. Lee should have no problems dodging at his speed, Sasuke said, confused. Unfortunately, the Omote Renge is a Kenjutsu, forbidden jutsu. It damages both the user and the opponent. It's a double-edged sword and puts massive strain on the body's muscles, Kakashi explained. Lee was still getting pulverized by sand waves. Come on, Lee, I know you can win. Just don't give up, Guy thought as he thought back to when he met Lee. Lee was bullied in the academy because he couldn't use ninjutsu or genjutsu, and his taijutsu was horrible at the time. However, he persevered and graduated after Mike Guy gave him advice and helped him train a little. It also helped that they had the same eyebrows. After Guy got his team, Lee declared that he wanted proof that he could be a great ninja even without the use of ninjutsu or genjutsu, much to Niji's amusement, thinking that once a failure, always a failure. Guy also taught him a second kanutsu like the Omote Renge, primary lotus, that Lee could only use in a certain instance. Back in the present, Lee smiled and regained his speed as he starting the sand waves. Well, he got his speed back, but what's he smiling about? Shikamaru asked, confused. Guy smiled and gave them a thumbs up. Lee just opened the gate to victory. After all, the lotus of Kanahegakure, the hidden leaf village, blooms twice. Guy told them. Kakashi's eye widened in pure shock. Guy, no you didn't? Kakashi asked, begging. Guy didn't do what he thinks he did. Yes, Kakashi, he can. Guy told his eternal rival seriously. You're telling me that a genin can open the Hashimen, 8 inner gates, and can use the Ura-Renge, hidden lotus. Are you out of your goddamned mind? Kakashi shouted, ready to pull out his hair. Hidden lotus? Niji thought in confusion. Fate had told him of no such thing apparently. A bit of a shock when that's all you talk about and how it helps you out. The Chunin and above all looked at Guy in shock, thinking even he couldn't be that crazy. Actually, they retracted that statement. This guy. Enough said. No, I'm not out of my mind. I taught Lee that to protect himself. Guy said. Well, of that isn't the most. Kakashi cut himself off. Okay, so how many gates can he open? Kakashi asked, still peeved. 5, Guy said. 5? You're telling me he can open 5 gates? Kakashi exclaimed at the green spandex wearing Jonin. Yes, Guy said simply. Damn it, Guy, you know that we aren't supposed to let our personal feelings get involved in our teachings. Kakashi reprimanded him. Hang on, what are these gates that you guys are talking about? Sasuke asked. The Hashimen are 8 inner chakra gates that when opened give you an increased power boost and chakra boost. Unfortunately, the gates will cause strain to the body with the more of them that are opened. You have Kaimon, the gate of opening, Kumon, the gate of rest, Simon, the gate of life, Shomon, the gate of pain, Taman, the gate of closing, Kaimon, the gate of joy, Kaiaman, the gate of shock, and Shimon, the gate of death. By opening all 8 gates you would be more powerful than any of the Kage, but then you would die. Kakashi said seriously before turning back to Guy. I don't know what this boy means to you, Guy, but this is extremely reckless and irresponsible of you. Kakashi told him seriously. You don't understand. He has something to prove. Guy shouted. Back in the arena, Lee crossed his arms and thought to himself, I refuse to be the one who doesn't advance. Niji, Sasuke, Hinata, and Naruto. I must do this, for I am now at the circumstance that I must use it. Kaimon Kai, the gate of opening release. Lee said, and was now able to use all 1005 of his muscles instead of the normal 20%. Kumon Kai, the gate of rest release. Lee said, now having his body re-energized and his physical strength increased. In the stands, I told Lee he could only use this at a certain point in time. That is when he has to. Guy started. Protect one's own ninja way. Guy said while Lee thought at that exact moment. Simon Kai, the gate of life release. Lee shouted. His blood flow increased and his eyes turned pure white. He was surrounded by green chakra and his skin turned red. His hair also stood up now. In the stands, the 3rd gate is open and now here comes the Ura-Renge, hidden lotus. Kakashi said. Yeah, you think you're so smart, Kakashi. Well, you are wrong about that, just watch. Guy told him. Back in the arena, Shomon Kai, the gate of pain release. Lee said as veins started bulging and his speed and power increased. In the stands. Okay, I'll admit I'm impressed. He can open 4 gates through sheer will alone, Kakashi said. In the arena, Lu rushed at Gaara and sent him flying in the air with a punch while moving at extremely fast speeds that looked like instant teleportation. Lee then appeared behind the flying Gaara and sent him to the left in midair, followed by appearing in front of the flying Gaara and sending him upwards top the right. Then doing the same and sending him left. And then sending him downwards and to the right. Lee kept this up, turning Gaara into a human pinball in the air. Gaara was being bounced around until he was sent down to the ground with a punch. As Gaara was falling to the ground, the bandage from Lee's left arm was unraveled and was attached to Gaara's shirt. Lee pulled up on the bandage, bringing Gaara back up into the air. Are you watching, Niji? I was saving this for when I got the chance to fight you. Taman Kai, the gate of closing release. Lee shouted as Gaara was brought right at him in the air. Ura-Renge, hidden lotus. Lee shouted as he embedded his right arm and leg into Gaara, sending him crashing to the floor and destroying the arena while creating a dust cloud. When the dust cleared, Gaara had apparently used his gourd to cushion his fall by turning it to sand. Meanwhile, Lee was on the ground panting. Gaara was hurt but not bleeding. He sent sand that wrapped around Lee's left arm and leg. Sabaku Soso, sand burial, Gaara said, and crushed his open palm into a fist, causing the sand wrapped around Lee to implode on his limbs. Lee passed out from the pain. Gaara was sending another wave of sand at Lee, but it was blocked by Guy. "Why would you save him?" Gaara asked. "Because he's precious to me," Guy said, and then saw Lee stand up in a fighting stance. But it turns out Lee was still unconscious and his body was moving on its own. Guy cried at that and took the unconscious boy into a hug as medics came to take him away. Gaara started walking away, but stopped when he got to the stairs. Naruto and Hinata went to check on Lee and passed by Gaara. Naruto and him locked eyes, telling each other, "We will fight soon," with just a glance. They overheard a medic tell Guy that Lee was injured to the point that he could never be a shinobi again due to bone fragments being stuck in his limbs. Cough. Rock Lee is unable to cough. Continue. The cough winner is Sabaku no Gaara, Gaara of the desert, Height said. After Lee was taken by the medics, the Hokage called all the winners down to the floor. Naruto, Sasuke, Neji, Shino, Hinata, Murasaki, Gaara, Kankuro, Temari, Shikamaru, and Sakura, who was brought back by Anko from her talk with Ino, were all standing in the arena. "Congratulations on advancing through the preliminaries. Now we will have each of you come up and draw a number from this box," the Hokage said, pointing to the box that Height was now holding. Sakura drew 7. Temari drew 8. Murasaki drew 9. Hinata drew 6. Shino drew 4. Shikamaru drew 5. Gaara drew 11. Kankuro drew 10. Sasuke drew 3. Neji drew 2. And Naruto drew 1. "Okay," Height said as he pulled out a piece of paper after they all drew their numbers. "This is the next exam phase," he said, showing them the paper with a tournament-style listing of matches. The first match was Uzumaki Naruto versus Hyuga Neji versus Uchiha Sasuke. The second match was Aburame Shino versus Nara Shikamaru. The third match was Hyuga Hinata versus Haruno Sakura. The fourth match was Sabaku no Temari, Temari of the desert, versus Tatsumaki Murasaki. The fifth match was Sabaku no Kankuro, Kankuro of the desert, versus Sabaku no Gaara, Gaara of the desert. Kankuro paled at who he had to fight. Gaara looked impassive. Neji smirked, thinking he was destined to win his fight. Sasuke smirked, thinking he'll win. Naruto also smirked, thinking his power would outclass both of them. Temari and Murasaki glared at each other, wanting to prove who the better futon, wine style, user is. Shikamaru muttered troublesome, and Shino looked impassive. Hinata and Sakura smirked at each other, wanting to beat the other. They may be teammates and friends, but that didn't mean they were going to go easy on each other. These fights will be in 1 month, and normally we would have one person sit out and wait instead of fighting in a 3-man battle, but we want to try something different. Also, the final rounds will have the person who did the best based on crowd reaction to their victory automatically advance to the finals for a final 3-way match. The Hokage explained. "Any questions?" he asked. "Yeah, why do we need to wait a month, and does this mean only one person can become Chunin?" In answer to why a month, feudal lords and important clients have to arrive, so they need to get here in a month. As for the second question, we judge based on skills shown who will be promoted to Chunin. All of you could become Chunin or none of you could. It is how we judge it. Now I suggest you all train for the finals. All visiting teams are welcome to using our training grounds, the Hokage said, and dismissed them to their training. This year is going to be interesting, I know it. I should have Naruto stop at the office and talk to him. After all, his godfather's in town, so he could get training from him. I wonder if he will reveal himself to the world at the exams on who he truly is, or will he stay in the shadows, so to speak. I mean, he already can protect himself, so we don't need to worry on that part. I guess only time will tell. I should talk to him about it after Jiraiya tests his power. The Hokage thought, wondering what the blonde would do at the exams. Will he reveal his powers and heritage or lay low on that for a bit longer? Hiruzen knew that things would be interesting. Chapter 15. training with super perverts, and number 2 joins the crew. The preliminaries were over and now Naruto found himself in the Hokage's office. Naruto stepped through the door and found the old Hokage sitting at his chair with a cup of coffee, while 3 shadow clones did paperwork at his desk. "Ah, there you are, Naruto-kun. I wanted to speak with you," the Hokage said seriously. "Whatcha need, Gigi?" Naruto asked the old Hokage. "Oh, just wanted to know your plans for training for the finals, and a few questions that I have for you," the Hokage told the boy. "Oh well, I don't really have any plans yet. I was thinking about talking with Kakashi-sensei, but I think he'll train Sasuke, so I'm not going to ask him. Hinata-chan and Sakura are probably going to train with Anko-sensei on and off, so she's also out for training me. I'll think of something though, so don't worry, old man," Naruto told Hiruzen. "Very well, but I have an idea on who can train you. But first I have to ask you some questions." "Leave us," the Hokage shouted, and then the ANBU hidden in the room left. "Now first, how far have your powers developed?" the Hokage asked, and so Naruto explained what he learned and what powers he has now. To say the Hokage was impressed is like saying Kakashi is always late. "Impressive, Naruto-kun. I assume you will reveal your Rinnegan to the world?" Hiruzen asked Naruto, who nodded. "Okay, then now let me ask you something. Do you believe that you are strong enough to protect yourself from your father's enemies?" he asked seriously. Naruto thought about it for a moment and, after also talking with Kurama and Shikaku about this, nodded with conviction. "Very well, then do you want to take up your father's last name at the finals?" Hiruzen asked the blonde. "Yes, I would like to be introduced as Namikaze Uzumaki Naruto at the beginning of the match," Naruto said. "Very well, I will tell the proctor of the finals to introduce you as such. Now on to your training. I have someone who can train you. In fact, he should be here in an hour," the Hokage said. "Okay, so what do you want to do?" Naruto asked the Hokage. I've got it," the Hokage said and reached into his desk and pulled out a deck of cards. "How about we play some poker? Don't worry, we won't bet much money. Okay?" the Hokage said. Naruto nodded and sat down to play cards with the old man. 1 hour later, a puff of white smoke appeared in the Hokage's office, revealing a man. This man had long spiky white hair down to his waist tied in a ponytail and 2 shoulder-length bangs. He had red lines down his eyes. He wore a horned forehead protector with the kanji for oil written on it. He had a wart on the left side of his nose. He wore a green short shirt, kimono, and matching pants. He had mesh armor underneath appearing out the arm and leg sleeves, and he also had a red haori with 2 yellow circles on each side. He also had on handguards, a black belt, and a giant scroll on his back. His name was Jiraiya, and he just teleported into a strange sight. He saw a blonde-haired kid sitting in front of the Hokage's desk counting about 10,000 ryo, while the Hokage was crying anime tears with his head planted into the desk because he lost a lot of money to the kid at poker. Sensei, what's going on?" Jiraiya asked, confused. "Huh?" The Hokage got up and saw Jiraiya. "Ah, Jiraiya-kun, there you are. Sorry, we were playing poker until you got here and I lost. This kid is the polar opposite of Tsunade, apparently," Hiruzen told the white-haired man. Jiraiya shivered at that. If this kid ever lost a bet, they were doomed. And if he ever lost a bet to Tsunade. Shudder. Meanwhile, in the afterlife, the Shinigami, who was covered in bandages, shivered in pure fear and terror along with Kami and Yami. Did you guys feel that? It seems that someone has just thought up a way to ensure the destruction of everything in existence. We must make sure that it never happens, Shinigami said with Kami and Yami nodding. He may have created fangirls, but what they were feeling was something much, much worse. Back on Earth, Jiraiya decided to ask a question. "So who's the Gaki?" he asked the Hokage. "This is Uzumaki Naruto, your godson," the Hokage told him seriously, causing both Naruto and Jiraiya to freeze. There was a cold chill in the air. "Wait, you mean he's..." Jiraiya started but was then cut off by the Hokage. "The son of Minato and Kushina?" "Yes, and he already knows about his parents, so no need to freak out over that, but I think he'd like to know where his godfather was in his life growing up," the Hokage said to Jiraiya as they both turned to the silently fuming Naruto. Listen, kid, He was cut off by Naruto jumping out the window to leave. The Hokage sighed. "Jiraiya, you need to make amends with Naruto-kun, and I know just the way," the Hokage told him. "Really, sensei, how?" Jiraiya asked with hope in his eyes. Well, Naruto-kun is in the Chunin exams finals and needs someone to train him. That seems like a good way to make amends. The Hokage told him, Okay, sensei, but I want to know what the kid can already do. Jiraiya said. The Hokage nodded and then pulled out a camera to remember the face Jiraiya makes after telling him everything. Oh, this was going to be fun. As the Hokage was doing that, Naruto went to a training ground nearby. He spent about a half hour just fighting through an army of shadow clones with his sword and taijutsu skills. After they were defeated, he turned around to see Jiraiya standing there leaning on a tree. Not bad, Gaki, brat. Not bad at all, Jiraiya said to him, smirking. In the Hokage's office, when he heard of Naruto's abilities, Jiraiya's jaw was on the floor, and he was wide-eyed. The Hokage now has the photo and he plans to develop it. What do you want? Naruto asked coldly. Jiraiya sighed. I want to apologize for not being there for you. And I know that no amount of apologizing or begging will make up my negligence, so I want to help train you for the finals, Jiraiya said. Naruto thought about it for a few moments and then stuck out his hand. Deal Kyofu, godfather, Naruto said, smiling. Jiraiya smiled and then shook his hand. Now let's go to the hot springs, Jiraiya said. Why? Naruto asked with a raised eyebrow. Jiraiya then had a perverted smile on his face. Because I need to do some research for my next book, Jiraiya said with a perverted giggle. Fine, lead the way, Naruto said, not understanding what he meant. Time skip to hot springs. Oh hell no. You are not going to peek at women in the hot springs, Naruto shouted outside the female section of the hot springs. The women in the hot springs ran away from the springs when they heard that. You idiot, you can't tell me what to do. I'm the Gamma Sennin, Toad Sage. For Kami's sake, Jiraiya shouted. Arrow Sennin, pervy sage. Is more like it, Naruto shouted. There's the pervert and the kid who he tried to corrupt. A woman from the hot springs shouted as she came out in a towel, being flanked by 24 other women also in towels. Let's get him, another said, and then they all charged Jiraiya. Jiraiya stood up and ran away. Damn you, Gaki, Jiraiya shouted, running with the horde on his tail. Idiot. You're on your own, Arrow Sennin, pervy sage, Naruto shouted and walked away from Jiraiya's screams. Meanwhile, while training with Anko, Hinata had the urge to kiss Naruto passionately for not doing something that would have earned him her wrath. Oh, he was going to be happy in the morning. The next day, a very happy, Naruto's training actually started. He used the shadow clone method to train his ninjutsu, taijutsu, kenjutsu, sword skills, and fuinjutsu, sealing jutsu, with Jiraiya's help. Meanwhile, he worked on his Bijou powers, Rinnegan abilities. He did this for only 7 days and made extreme headway in his training. Naruto had improved his sword skills as well as his skills with the blade enlargement ability of his sword. His taijutsu had also been improved, able to put Jiraiya on edge. His skill with his Bijou's powers was also greatly increased. He could control two-tails of Kurama's power and half of Shikaku's power now. His Rinnegan powers also improved. His Azura path had new weapons. Naraka path he used to repair broken weapons. Preda's range increased. An animal, he summoned some of his animals that he made contracts with, and he signed the Gamma Toad contract. He met with the bosses of each contract. The giant male purple Teiko octopus boss Rapu. The giant female white kitsune fox boss Kasumi. The large male golden washi eagle boss Senkai. And the giant red male boss of the Gamma Toads, Gamabunta. He took a challenge for each boss so he could prove himself worthy of each contract, especially after he showed his Rinnegan. For the Kitsune Fox contract, he had to escape Kasumi's illusion. Being as he had 2 Bijou in him, he escaped easily. Next, he had to race Senkai for the Washi Eagle contract. He won thanks to his gravity manipulating abilities. For the Teiko Octopus contract, Naruto had to defeat Rapu when he shot a blast of water at him. He had to stop the blast of water. Naruto just created a large-scale Preta path absorption barrier and absorbed the water blast's chakra. Finally, he had to land a punch on Gamabunta as they fought so he could have access to the Gamma Toad contract. Naruto completed all the tests and had access to all 4 contracts. While the clones trained their jutsu and skills, expanding their library in the process, the original got to know some of the summons for each contract. This went on for 7 more days until something happened. The newest inductee into the bijou that inhabited Naruto's mindscape had arrived. The Nibi no Nico, two-tailed cat, Matatabi. Matatabi is a large cat made entirely of blue fire and has 2 tails. It was interesting to say the least when she appeared in Naruto's mindscape. Flashback: Naruto was training his Katon Jutsu, fire-style jutsu, on a tree in the training ground. Unfortunately, he was starting to run out of trees. Naruto started to send another fireball at a tree when all of a sudden his chakra started increasing in amount and his fire suddenly turned blue. He sent it at the tree, which blazed in an inferno of blue fire. Kit, enter the mindscape. You'll want to see this. Kurama told Naruto through their mental link. Naruto nodded and started meditating to enter his mindscape. Naruto opened his eyes and found himself in the forested area of his mind. Kurama and Shikaku were arm wrestling at a stump. Behind them stood a giant 2-tailed cat covered in blue flames. She was Matatabi, the Nibi no Nico, 2-tailed cat. I take it that you are Naruto-kun? Matatabi asked the blonde. Indeed I am. It's nice to meet you, Matatabi. Naruto told the giant flaming cat. And you as well. I never thought Kurama's container could possibly be so kind. It's rather a shock to say the least. Matatabi said. Hey, what's that supposed to mean, Matatabi? Kurama asked, a little annoyed after beating Shikaku in arm wrestling. What all you did in the past was cry and brood after Tsunade's death. I'm just a little shocked that you out of all of us would be friendly with a human. Matatabi told him. Oh, come on, Matatabi, I wasn't that bad. Kurama tried to defend himself. After Tsunade's death, a human came to us to talk and you threatened to eat him. Then when he refused to leave, you gripped him with your tail and swallowed him whole. You then complained that you didn't have anything to go with it and decided to make barbecue sauce for the next person you ate. Matatabi said in deadpan. I still say I wasn't that bad. Kurama said weakly with his head down. Bro, you're the only one of us who actually ate humans. Shikaku stated. I'm gonna call bullshit on that, Sandy, Kurama told the giant tanuki. Well, let's see. I never ate humans, I just crushed them or drowned them with sand. Matatabi usually lit people on fire. Isabu crushed them or impaled them with coral. Son Goku melted them with lava. Kokuo either crushed them or melted them with steam. Saiken typically melted them with acid. Chome usually didn't kill, he just blew wind at them and sent them away. Yuki usually tentacle whacked them, and you clawed and or ate them. How's that furball? Shikaku said to Kurama, who in turn glared at Shikaku as Naruto watched all of this in amusement. What was that, you overgrown raccoon? Kurama asked annoyed. You heard me, Fluffy. Shikaku said, butting heads with Kurama. You wanna go psycho? Kurama asked, ready to claw Shikaku. Yeah, I do. Bring it, Kurama. Shikaku yelled, about to send a punch at Kurama. The two decided to start attacking each other in a punch-off. That is until Matatabi appeared behind them angry. That's enough, you bakas, idiots. Matatabi said as she smacked both of the bijou to the ground with a tail to each of their skulls. Both bijou were unconscious after the shot. Honestly, you two are already fighting. This is ridiculous. I have half a mind to turn Shikaku to glass with my fire and give Kurama my version of a fur trimming. Matatabi yelled at the two, enraged. Too bad they were unconscious. This is going to get crazy when they all show up. Naruto thought to himself as he exited the mindscape. When Naruto awoke, he found himself in front of the tree that was lit with blue fire. Jiraiya was also there, leaning on a nearby tree not on fire. Second bijou? Jiraiya asked Naruto. He remembered the Hokage telling him about having all 9 bijou in him thanks to divine intervention. He also remembered something about a bijou using blue fire. Yeah, Nibi's joined us and she is not happy with the other two right now, Naruto said while Jiraiya shivered. Women when angry were destructive enough, but a pissed-off female bijou. What kind of madman would create something so terrifying? Meanwhile, in the afterlife, achoo! The Rakuto Sennin sneezed. Back in the land of the living. Well, how about we get started on the rest of your training? Jiraiya asked and Naruto nodded. Flashback end. Naruto now had some completely new ninjutsu, and I'll wait for the finals to reveal his new moves. Enhanced Rinnegan powers, taijutsu improvements, fuinjutsu skills, new sword techniques, and now had control over the initial stage of Matatabi's chakra. He also used on Mayaton, Banbutsu Sozo, Yin-Yang release, creation of all things, for the first time and created some new weapons. The weapons he keeps inside a scroll that is in the new clothes he bought as well. The weapons he created included a scythe with a pure white blade and black shaft. It had the human path ability to rip the souls from its victims and absorb them into the scythe where their memories could be reviewed. It had essentially an extension of the human path ability. The blade was called Tamashi Rippa, Soul Ripper, a large two-handed executioner sword. A great sword with a black handle and a blood-red blade. On the end of the handle is a red skull. The sword had the ability to steal chakra from its victims and increase the chakra amount of the wielder with the absorbed chakra. The sword was called Aka Suraisa, Red Slicer, a large two-sided warhammer with spikes on it. The grip was red while the shaft, hammer, and spikes were all black. The hammer had the ability to fire chakra like a beam at its targets when at a range. Bijou and elemental chakra included. The hammer was called Kuchiku-kan, the Destroyer, and a shield in a triangle shape that was purely black but had a white Uzumaki insignia on it in the middle. The shield had the ability to absorb chakra-based attacks and repel them back at the enemy, or the chakra from the attack can be absorbed by the wielder to replenish chakra. The shield was called Hanshikyo, Reflector. The new outfit that he bought the day he had consisted of black boots, black sweatpants with a red stripe going down the outer leg of the pants, a black muscle shirt, black fingerless gloves, the cloak of shadows worn around his neck with the hood down, and his sword strapped at his left hip with his ninja pouch and weapon scroll were tied to his right leg. Namake's Uzumaki Naruto was now ready for his fight at the Chunin exams the next day, and they were sure going to be interesting. Oh yes, very interesting indeed. Chapter 16, The Chunin Exams Finals. A God's Power Revealed. The day had finally arrived. The Chunin exams finals were today. The matches were Namake's Uzumaki Naruto versus Hyuga Niji versus Uchiha Sasuke, Aburame Shino versus Nara Shikamaru, Hyuga Hinata versus Haruno Sakura, Sabaku no Temari, Temari of the Desert versus Tatsumaki Murasaki, and Sabaku no Kankuro, Kankuro of the Desert versus Sabaku no Gara, Gara of the Desert. The arena was a large stadium with the battleground being a small plain-type area with a tree and some shrubs. Throughout the arena were stands that housed the spectators. At the top of the arena on the roof was a viewing box which the Hokage was sitting down in. He sat in a chair that was provided while there was an empty chair next to him. A man came wearing a kage robes but with blue instead of red, and he had a white cloth that covered his face except for his eyes. He was the Kazekage, the leader of Tsunade, the hidden sand village, and father to Gara, Kankuro, and Temari. Hokage-dano, it is good to see you, the Kazekage said to Hiruzen, greeting him. Yes, it has been far too long since we spoke, Kazekage-dano. How have things been? The Hokage asked him. Quite well, the Kazekage said simply as he sat down. I see, that's very good to hear, the Hokage said while looking suspiciously at the Kazekage without giving off that he was suspicious. Well, should we get things started? The Kazekage asked. Not yet, we are still waiting on some participants. Besides, there's still 20 minutes until it is officially supposed to start. The Hokage said while looking down into the arena and seeing that 2 participating genin were not there while everyone else was there. Naruto and Sasuke were not there yet. I see. So who has not arrived yet? The Kazekage asked. 2 genin from Konoha. Though they will be here on time, I can assure that. The Hokage said. When he had a meeting with Kakashi on his training, he said that if Sasuke was late, he would have Kakashi pay for Naruto's ramen, Anko's dango, Hinata's cinnamon buns, and Sasuke's tomatoes for an entire year. He would be homeless after paying for all that in a month, so imagine a year. As he recalled that, a swirl of leaves formed and Sasuke and Kakashi appeared. Sasuke was wearing a new outfit. He had on a black one-piece outfit with bandages around his legs cutting off just before his knees. Also wrapped around the bandages are black bands. His left arm was also covered with bandages and bands in the same way cutting off before his elbow, which had a beige pad covering it. His right arm only had the beige pad and was missing the bandages and bands. And you are? The proctor wearing the standard Konoha flak jacket outfit asked. He had long brown hair, his headband in the form of a bandana with the metal plate on the back of his head. He also had a senbon in his mouth that he had between his teeth like a toothpick. His name was Shiranui Genma. Hayate was replaced because after the last test he went to the hospital because his cough worsened. He thought it would be best to go get it checked out. His girlfriend Yugao also kinda made him go, and you really don't want to anger the best swordswomen in the ANBU Black Ops. And so Hayate left and Genma replaced him. But other than that, Hayate was perfectly fine. Uchiha Sasuke answered, looking around. He saw Sakura and Hinata but didn't see Naruto. Sasuke went over to Hinata and Sakura. Hello Sasuke-kun / Sasuke-san. Sakura and Hinata greeted respectively. Hello Sakura-chan, Hinata-san. Have you two seen Naruto? Sasuke asked the two girls. No, we haven't, Sakura said. Don't worry. He'll be here, Hinata said. After all, she had access to his ramen stock. She could easily get rid of it. If he's late. After thinking that, a large bolt of lightning hit the top of the arena. After it disappeared, it revealed a figure wearing a black cloak with the hood up. The figure jumped off the top of the arena into the battlefield with the rest of the participants. And you are? Genma asked. The figure pulled down his hood to reveal Naruto. Namikaze Uzumaki Naruto. Naruto said, and everyone heard him. The Kazekage's eyes widened hearing that name. The Genin's eyes all widened hearing that name, as well as the people in the stands. This also included the Genin that made it to the preliminaries but failed to progress and their Jonin senseis. Wait, Namikaze? Why does that sound familiar? One person in the stands asked. No, it can't be. That was Yandame-sama's last name. Another person. What? 5 people chorused, which then everyone somehow came to the same conclusion. Naruto was related to the Yandame 4th Hokage. More than that, spiky blonde hair, blue eyes, Uzumaki as a last name by Kami, he was the Yandame's son. Everyone face-bombed. How did none of us see that they were related? They look exactly alike. Everyone in the stands chorused. A lot of them also realized they treated their hero's son like crap. Oh, they were so going to hell for what they did. Well, now that every one of the participants has arrived, we can begin the Chunin exams finals. Genma said as the audience cheered. Now then, will everyone except for Namikaze Uzumaki Naruto, Hyuga Niji, and Uchiha Sasuke please leave? Genma asked as the participants all went to the competitors' area to watch the fights and lounge around. The first match of the Chunin exams, Namikaze Uzumaki Naruto versus Hyuga Niji versus Uchiha Sasuke. Hajime, Genma said as he jumped back to avoid the coming fight. You two should just give up. Fate has already deemed me the winner of this bout. Niji said arrogantly, just standing there. He was then kicked in the face by Sasuke, who got tired of the fate talk. You know, you should probably save the whole victory speech and celebration for after you win. Not that you're going to win anyway, mind you, but still. Sasuke said as he went into his fighting stance. Humph. You still have no chance against me, Uchiha. Niji said as he entered his Juken gentle fist stance. He was then drop-kicked from behind and sent a few feet away. Naruto had appeared behind Niji and kicked him away. You know, Niji, we can go all day with the talking and bore the audience, or we can fight. I personally vote for the second option so I can kick your ass as well as Sasuke's over there. Naruto said as he entered his Kitsuniken fox fist stance. Fools. If you want to fight, even though you stand no chance against me, I will gladly oblige. Niji said as he activated his Byakugan. Sasuke rushed at Niji, sending a right punch. Niji ducked and sent a Juken gentle fist, 2-finger jab at Sasuke's shoulder. Sasuke ducked to dodge the strike. What they didn't count on was Naruto using his speed to catch them off guard and attack them simultaneously. Naruto sent a punch at Niji's face, sending him back, staggering a few steps, while Sasuke was able to raise a forearm to block Naruto's kick, but was sent skidding back a bit. Seems you two forgot about me. I'm hurt, but don't worry, I'll make it up to you two. I promise. Naruto said to his two opponents. Naruto then had to dodge 5 oncoming shuriken from Sasuke. Naruto leaped into the air to dodge them, and then formed a cross seal and created 10 Kage Bunshin shadow clones. 5 clones each dropped and charged Sasuke and Niji. Sasuke dodged the first clone when it sent a left punch at Sasuke's head by ducking. As that happened, a second clone sent a kick at Sasuke's back. Sasuke spun, quickly grabbed the leg of the clone. As he was about to hit the clone to dispel it, he let go of the clone and leaped up into the air. A third clone had decided to do a baseball slide and kick him. A fourth clone jumped up into the air and did 3 front flips followed by an axe kick to Sasuke's head. Sasuke raised his arm to block the strike and succeeded. The final clone, however, jumped into the air and kicked Sasuke in his back while he was blocking the axe kick. The kick connected and Sasuke dropped his arm. The 2 clones then grabbed Sasuke by his arms and threw him to the ground. While Sasuke was tossed to the ground, Neji was fighting the 5 clones that went after him. The first clone, Neji, sidestepped a right punch from it and then sent a Jukin, gentle fist, palm strike at it, dispelling it. A second clone came up from behind trying to send a left kick at Neji's side. Neji jumped and back flipped over the strike and landed behind the clone. Neji then hit a 2-fingered Jukin, gentle fist, strike to the clone's back, dispelling it. 2 more clones rushed at Neji, who just sent each a palm strike at their chests, dispelling them. The final clone came from the air delivering an axe kick to Neji, but Neji used a Jukin, gentle fist, 2-finger strike on the clone's leg and dispelled it. Humph, is that all you've got, Namikaze? If so, then I guess you don't deserve your father's name. Neji said arrogantly, Byakugan still activated. Sasuke rose up and activated his Sharingan. 2 tomo in each eye. The clones charged at Sasuke. The first clone sent a right punch at Sasuke. Sasuke used his left arm to block the punch and sent a right punch into the clone's gut, dispelling it. 2 more clones rushed at Sasuke. Sasuke jumped and sent a kick to each of their faces, dispelling them. The final 2 clones rushed Sasuke, but Sasuke jumped and spun, kicking both in their stomachs with his legs. Come on, Naruto, I know you can do better than that, Sasuke said, but then jumped away when Neji sent a Jukin, gentle fist, strike at him. Sasuke then threw 4 kunai while he was in the air at Neji. Neji started spinning, however, and created a large dome of chakra that spun as well. This is a secret Hyuga clan technique known only by the main family members of the Hyuga clan. The Hakusho Kaiten, 8 trigrams palm rotation. The Hyugas in the audience were stunned, especially Hinata, Hayashi, and Hinata's younger sister Hanabi. She had long brown hair and large white eyes. She wore a sleeveless blue V-neck shirt with mesh armor underneath and matching blue pants. "Tsunade, father, is that?" Hanabi started. "Yes, it is. It seems Neji has learned some new techniques. Techniques reserved for the main family. Still, I believe that Naruto-san will be the victor," Hayashi said, shocking Hanabi. "Naruto-san is the one who Hinata-nichan lives with, right?" Hanabi innocently asked. "Yes, they are dating," Hayashi said. "Hinata-ne's dating him?" Hanabi said in surprise. "Wait, is this the boy Hinata-ne spied on with her Byakugan in the hot springs?" Hanabi asked. "She did what now?" Hayashi asked, shocked. Nothing," Hanabi said innocently, looking back at the match. "I need to have a word with Hinata when the exams are over." Oh, things are going to get even more crazy when Hanabi starts dating. I dread the day. Hayashi thought, not looking forward to that happening at all. Back in the arena, Neji had stopped spinning, dispersing the Kaiten rotation. "You stand no chance, Namikaze. Your eyes aren't trained enough like ours are," Neji said, and then glared at Naruto. "When I defeat you here, I will kill that disgrace of a Hyuga that is your girlfriend, and then I will allow you to join her," Neji said maliciously. Naruto glared at Neji, pissed after that remark. No one threatens his girlfriend and gets away unscathed. Just ask Mizuki and Gato. "Oh wait, you can't because they're dead. So you think you can defeat me just because of your eyes? Is that it?" Naruto asked slowly and pissed. "I don't think it, I know it. Your eyes are no match for mine. Now die, fool," Neji said and rushed at Naruto, with an outstretched palm to strike Naruto, only to be thrown back into the wall by an invisible force when Naruto outstretched his hand. It also caused a large dust cloud to kick up, blinding everyone. The people in the stands were confused, and Sasuke, who was taking time to analyze the situation when Naruto and Neji were talking, looked on impassively, but on the inside thought, "Neji, congratulations. You just awakened a beast that can make the Kyuubi look like a plushie." Meanwhile, in Naruto's mindscape, "Why do I have a feeling the Uchiha just insulted me?" Kurama said, confused while playing checkers with Shikaku. "Oh, come on bro, I think you're just making things up now. There's no way the Uchiha is just randomly thinking about you. Shikaku said after moving his black piece, thinking Kurama's just trying to gain attention. I'm serious, dust cloud. I got the feeling he insulted me. Kurama said to Shikaku as he moved his red piece to take Shikaku's just moved black piece. Dust cloud. Listen, hairball, just for that I hope the Uchiha did insult you. And call me that again, I'll kick your ass. Shikaku said, glaring at Kurama. Hairball. You wanna go, Shikaku? Kurama said, ticked off. Hell yeah. Bring it, Kurama. Shikaku said, ready to fight. Knock it off, you two, or I'm going to have a new glass sculpture to admire as I eat some extra crispy fox. Got it. Matatabi yelled at the two to stop as she was getting annoyed. Her shout caused the two bijou to stop in their tracks. They knew well, do not piss off a female bijou. It is the worst mistake you can possibly make. Back in the arena, the dust clouds started to clear and they saw a cloak fall to the ground. So Hyuga Niji, you believe that your prodigal eyes can defeat all that you face. You believe in once a failure, always a failure. You believe in this all because of your prodigal eyes. Naruto started as the dust clouds started to thin and disperse. Sasuke, you also have prodigal eyes, so I have a proposal for you too. Naruto said, and the dust cloud dispersed due to a shockwave of chakra released by Naruto. Let's see how your prodigal eyes, Naruto started. Deal with my eyes of God, Naruto said as he opened his eyes, revealing his Rinnegan to everyone. People in the stands gasped and Niji looked shocked. Naruto of all people has a dojutsu. Let's see which is stronger, your Sharingan Sasuke, your Byakugan Niji, or my Rinnegan. Naruto said, ready to fight. It matters not, you are still a weakling just like your girlfriend, Niji said. And then he was hit by a kick to the face by Naruto, who rushed at him at extreme speeds. You know, I'm getting really sick and tired of you insulting my girlfriend, especially since she is your cousin. What could you possibly have against your own cousin that makes you hate her so much? Naruto asked, curious. Hinata never did say why Niji hated her so much. You want to understand. You who knows no pain or suffering of any kind wish to understand my pain. Niji said, not noticing almost everyone in the stands flinch. I don't know pain? I don't know suffering? Listen, bastard, I could go on a large tirade on the hells of my life. But I won't, Naruto said. And why not? Niji asked coldly, because of someone thinking he could outclass his pain. Because I'm not someone who does nothing but bitch and moan about the problems in their life. Naruto said, causing Niji to get a tick mark. You are nothing but a fool. However, I shall indulge you too with my story. Niji said as he removed his headband. On his forehead was a green tattoo. Naruto noticed it was a seal. The seal was green in color and had two lines with hooks at the ends. One hook was facing down, the other facing up. In between the lines in the middle of the forehead was a large green, the 10th. This is the seal that has caused me misery. Years ago, when Hinata-sama was 3, I was branded with this seal by the Hyuga main family. I was sent into the branch family all because my father Hayashi-sama's twin brother was born later than him by a few seconds. We of the branch family are the servants to the main family, doomed to obey them or face their wrath. This seal can cause pain to us if a main family member wishes it. It also seals the Byakugan instantly on death. So it keeps our bloodline safe. Niji started explaining. When I was branded with the seal, it was Hinata-sama's 3rd birthday, as I mentioned before. When she turned 3, there was a treaty signed between Kumogakure no Sato, village hidden in the clouds, and Konoha. The Kumo diplomat later tried to kidnap Hinata-sama. Hayashi-sama killed the kidnapper, but because the treaty was signed, Kumo demanded reparations for the death of their diplomat. They demanded Hayashi-sama be killed and his body handed over to Kumo for the Byakugan, or war would be declared. They instead used my father as a sacrifice to deter war. It was the main family's idea for my father to be used as a sacrifice. My hatred grew for the main family then. It showed me that fate cannot be changed. Destiny is set in stone for us all. Niji finished, as he put his headband back on. So the reason you hate Hinata-chan is because your father was killed to deter war, all because a Kumo diplomat tried to kidnap her when she was 3 years old, and you blame her for the seal on your forehead? Naruto asked as Niji nodded. Well, Niji, I can honestly say that you are a complete and total moron. Naruto told him, causing him to gain tick marks. Enough talk. I'll end you dead last, Neji said as he rushed at Naruto. Naruto held his hand out and shouted, Shinra Tensei, almighty push. Neji was hit by an invisible force and sent flying back. What is he doing? Neji thought, trying to find a way to defeat Naruto. Neji then created a Kaiten rotation to stop an attack by Naruto. Naruto had turned his hand into a bladed whip. Neji stopped it with his technique, but it was all a part of Naruto's plan. Just before he sent the whip at Neji, Naruto had created 2 Kage Bunshin shadow clones that were standing behind him. One ran at Neji with the Rinnegan activated and used the Preta path to absorb the Kaiten rotation. Soon the chakra sphere protecting Neji dispersed and the other Kage Bunshin shadow clone rushed at Sasuke, who was sitting back analyzing the situation. The Kage Bunshin shadow clone that went after Sasuke sent a right punch at Sasuke. Sasuke blocked the strike with his left arm and sent a right kick at the clone's ribs. The clone used his body to artwell over Sasuke's oncoming leg, and then sent his right leg into Sasuke's left leg, tripping him. Neji's rotation dispersed and he felt his chakra being drained. Neji pulled out a kunai and threw it at the clone. The clone wasn't expecting it and was hit in the stomach, causing him to disperse into a puff of smoke. Neji then dropped to one knee due to the chakra drained from him and started panting. He then looked to his left and saw Sasuke fighting the other Kage Bunshin shadow clone. Sasuke leaped to his feet after the trip and decided to end the clone as quickly as possible. Sasuke ran at the clone with a kunai in his hand. He tried to stab the clone, but the clone sidestepped the strike. Sasuke then jumped away when he saw the clone pull back for a kick. As he was leaping, Sasuke threw his kunai at the clone. The clone jumped up into the air to avoid the kunai, and Sasuke planned on this. Sasuke landed on the ground and used the momentum to bounce up into the air and rushed at the clone. Sasuke then punched the clone in the gut. The clone was too distracted by dodging the kunai that he didn't expect Sasuke's speed to actually hit him, although everyone noticed that Sasuke used speed similar to Lee without his weights to do it. Sasuke then landed on the ground standing but panting a little. Neji stood up and glared at Naruto. You stand no chance against me, even with those eyes dead last, for you see you are within my range of divination, Neji said as he entered a gentle fist stance, shocking all of the Hyuga present, specifically Hayashi, Hanabi, and Hinata. That's? Hinata mumbled to herself in shock that her cousin was using a particular technique. Oto-sama, isn't that? Hanabi started asking her father, who cut her off before she could finish. Indeed it is Hanabi, Hayashi told her, though he then thought to himself, how can Neji possibly know this along with the Kaiten? They are both main family techniques and he is a branch family member. I cannot fathom how Neji learned how to use the techniques. If what I think he did is correct, then he may truly be a genius for actually recreating them without any help, just from watching people use them. The elders looked shocked at the display. The most promising branch member can use main family techniques? This is not good. Hayashi's failure of a daughter is living with the demon. The demon is the son of the Yondaime and has the eyes of the sage. This is not going well. Now our plans of controlling the Hyuga clan have a few wrenches in them. We elders shall control the clan, but it will require cautious planning from here on out. However, I just know those 3 will become problems in the future. An elder thought as he was waiting for the moment him and the others could control the clan. Back in the arena, Neji used 2 Juken-style 2-finger strikes at the same time on Naruto, who was caught off guard as he drained a lot of Neji's chakra. Hack and I show, 8 trigrams 2 palms, Neji shouted as he struck. Then he sent another 2 strikes at Naruto, making 4 in total. Hakyan show, 8 trigrams 4 palms. Then he sent 4 more consecutive strikes, making 8. Hakha show, 8 trigrams 8 palms. Then he sent 8 more strikes, making 16 strikes. Hakjuroku show, 8 trigrams 16 palms, followed by 16 more strikes, making 32 hits. Hack Sanjuin I show, 8 trigrams 32 palms, and finally sent 32 more strikes to make 64 hits on Naruto. Hack Roku Juyan show, 8 trigrams 64 palms, Neji said after the final hit, and then fell to the ground. Neji the turned to Sasuke. Now that the fool is out of the way, I can defeat you, Uchiha, Niji said as he was about to run towards the still heavily breathing Sasuke until he felt something hit him in his back. Naruto had gotten up and kicked Niji in his back, sending him sprawling to the ground. How? I blocked of your chakra. Niji roared in disbelief. How was Naruto up after having his chakra cut off? Quite simple, Niji. I have a method that unblocks any chakra points after they are closed. I used that after you cockily thought that you had the upper hand and then sent that kick at you. I knew you didn't have much chakra left after the attack, so I believe that this battle will end here for you. Naruto told him. Never, Niji said as he groggily tried to get up only to fall back down. Then he shakily stood up and glared at Naruto. While this was going on, Sasuke was regaining his breath and going through hand seals. I will not give in to you dead last. I will defeat you and kill Hinata-sama. I will destroy you both. Niji shouted in rage, though he looked like he wouldn't be able to continue. Niji, enough. Naruto shouted, getting tired of this. You stand no chance against me, especially after the punishment I have dished out on you. There is no point in continuing. Naruto told him coldly. No. It is my destiny to defeat you too. Niji yelled almost hysterically. No, it isn't. If it was the destiny you so claim to have thrusted upon you, then you would have won by now. Destiny is not set in stone, and deep down you know it's true. You use fate and destiny as a crutch. You see, I know what you truly are, Niji. You are a bird trapped in a cage who stopped fighting for freedom all because of that seal. Well, maybe you need someone to do away the cage, so you may fly freely with no restrictions. Naruto told him. No. I will not stand for this, you wretch. I will kill you. Niji shouted hysterically in a rage as he tried a right palm strike on Naruto's chest. Naruto, however, stepped to the left to dodge the strike and sent a right punch at Niji's abdomen. Niji had all the breath knocked out of him after the punch connected. Niji then fell to his knees, breathing heavily, and clutched his stomach. Naruto started making Niji look at him. Fate is not set in stone. Destiny can be changed. I promise you that I will change the Hyuga clan and help you. I swear it on my life that I will help you. Naruto told him as Niji looked at him in disbelief, but something was in his eyes that Naruto saw. Hope that Naruto was right. Perhaps he may change the clan and help me. Maybe he is right, but I cannot judge just yet. But maybe if anyone can do it, perhaps Namake's Uzumaki Naruto is the one who can do it. I will not say you will be the one to do it, Naruto, as I don't know whether you can, but the look in your eyes says that I should believe in you. And I probably will. One thing is for certain, however, you are much greater than I will ever be. I can now see why Hinata-sama loves you. Niji thought as he fell unconscious. A medic then came and took him away to heal. Hayashi saw that he would have to talk to his nephew about the truth of Hisashi's death. He put it off for far too long. He was still proud of the fight his nephew put up in this match and was really impressed by Naruto's skills. However, his thoughts were cut short when Sasuke shouted, Katan Moru Nagar no Jutsu, Fire Style, Blazing Stream Jutsu. Sasuke blew a blood-red colored stream of fire at Naruto, who used the Preta path to quickly absorb the chakra without even turning towards Sasuke. Why did you do that, team? Ninjutsu is useless against me. Naruto told Sasuke. Maybe it is, but I'm still going to defeat you, Dobe. Sasuke said as he charged at Naruto. Naruto also did the same and charged at Sasuke. When the two reached each other, Sasuke sent a flying right kick at Naruto's chest. Naruto raised both his arms, crossing them in an X position to block the kick with his forearms. Naruto then pushed his arms out to throw the midair Sasuke off balance while his kick was still connected to Naruto's arms. Sasuke, however, used the momentum of being pushed back to do a backflip. He landed on his feet and rushed at Naruto yet again. Sasuke sent a running left punch at Naruto. Naruto quickly grabbed Sasuke's incoming arm with his left hand and then jumped up, still holding on to his arm. Naruto then sent a right kick to Sasuke's chin, making him stagger. Naruto then landed and put his right leg behind Sasuke's left and tripped him. Sasuke fell to the ground but then sprung back up quickly. Sasuke then sent a left punch at Naruto, but it was a fake out, and sent a right kick at Naruto's ribs when Naruto went to block the punch. The kick connected and pushed Naruto back a few steps. Naruto then sent a right punch at Sasuke's head. Sasuke then blocked the strike with his right arm and sent a left punch. Naruto then blocked the strike with his own left arm. The two were stuck in this position until Naruto did something a bit unorthodox in order to get out of the predicament. He headbutted Sasuke. Sasuke in pain let go while Naruto jumped back to survey the situation. I played off Niji's attacks doing little damage, but I guess they Juken strikes did more than I thought. As of now, we can't decide the victor through taijutsu. Naruto thought, I can't win this through taijutsu and his Rinnegan is ridiculous. Sasuke thought, this means my only options are ninjutsu. Both thought the exact same thing. Sasuke started going through hand seals. Tiger monkey boar horse tiger, Katon. Gokaku no jutsu, fire style, fireball jutsu. Sasuke shouted as he blew a large fireball from his mouth at Naruto. Naruto just absorbed the attack with Predapath. Sasuke, however, used the fireball as a distraction and sent a Fuma Shuriken, Demon Wind Shuriken, at Naruto. Naruto, however, instead of sidestepping it, did a baseball slide underneath the shuriken and grabbed it by the hole that was in the middle. Naruto then quickly cut the ninja wire that was on the shuriken without anyone noticing by shifting his left index finger into small sharp knife with his Azura Path. Naruto then threw the shuriken at Sasuke, who arrogantly stood there, allowing the shuriken to gain speed before he would turn it around on Naruto. However, when he tried to turn it, the shuriken stayed its course, shocking Sasuke as he felt the string move. Sasuke quickly dodged the shuriken, deciding to worry about that at another point in time. His goal was to win after all. The shuriken flew into the wall where it impaled. Sasuke had to dodge again because the Fuma Shuriken was a distraction while Naruto used the Azura Path to turn his arm into a cannon. He fired a concentrated ball of blue fire from the cannon thanks to combining Matatabi's chakra with the Rinnegan for a short period of time. Sasuke jumped to the left of the fireball and was then blindsided by Naruto and his speed. Naruto punched Sasuke in the face and sent him flying backwards into the wall. Naruto then started going through hand seals. Tiger snake rat dog monkey snake, Doton, Iwakujir no jutsu, earth style, rock slide jutsu. Naruto shouted and then stomped on the ground, sending a trail of rocks at Sasuke. Then the trail stopped and a large rock burst from where the trail stomped and launched at Sasuke. Sasuke dodged it in the nick of time, however. Sasuke looked at Naruto and started going through hand seals. Monkey dragon rat bird ox snake dog tiger monkey. Sasuke then held his left palm out while gripping his left arm with his right hand. Electricity started sparking in his left palm, and soon his entire hand was covered in electricity. The electricity was visible to all and emitted a noise that sounded exactly like birds chirping. In the stands, Might Guy looked at Kakashi in shock. You taught him the Chidori? Doesn't that seem a little irresponsible? Guy asked Kakashi, who looked really offended. Isn't that the pot calling the kettle black? You taught Lee how to open the gates. Kakashi responded. Hang on, what's the Chidori? Ino asked while the genin all wanted to know. Guy explained that the Chidori is Kakashi's only original technique and that it is a lightning-enhanced jab that was able to actually cut a lightning bolt on half. Chidori! Sasuke shouted as he rushed at Naruto. Naruto rushed at him with the Rinnegan activated. Sasuke got close enough where he could actually lift his arm up ready to jab Naruto. However, Sasuke was sent flying back by an invisible force after Naruto shouted, Shinra Tensei, Almighty Push, and Sasuke soared through the air into the wall. Naruto then pulled out his sword and enlarged the blade. The blade enlarged to where it hit the wall Sasuke was embedded into without him having to move. The blade stabbed into the wall just to the left of Sasuke. Proctor, call the match. This could have easily been a killing blow to him, Naruto said as he reabsorbed the chakra from the sword and shortened the blade. Uchiha Sasuke and Hyuga Niji are unable to continue. The winner of the match is Namikaze's Uzumaki Naruto. Genma shouted with a smile on his face as medics came to collect Sasuke. The entire arena roared in applause. The genin not in the finals clapped with smiles. Hinata smiled at him from the competitor's box. Shikamaru had a smirk on his face. Shino was wearing a small smile, but no one saw it underneath his sweater. Sakura was clapping happy with how both Naruto and Sasuke did. Tenten was impressed by how Naruto beat Niji. Lee and Guy were shouting about flames of youth. Again, the Sand Shinobi minus Gaara looked shocked at Naruto's power. Gaara had this evil smile that screamed, He will be my next victim. Granted, this is exactly what Gaara was thinking, but still. Naruto walked up the stairs to the competitor's box to rest while the other matches went on. Will Aburame Shino and Nara Shikamaru please come to the arena for your match? Genma called for them to come down. Shino silently walked down while Shikamaru was too lazy to walk downstairs for the match. Seriously, he decided to rest his head on the railing and say it was too troublesome to move. However, Temari decided to help him out by swinging her fan lightly to send him into the arena. Shikamaru then landed on his back on the ground. He then heard his mother shout from the stands, "Yes, my son has finally found someone to share his life with. After all, it's tradition for the first woman disregarding other Naras, Akimichi women, and Yamanaka women to beat up a Nara male to get them moving is the one to marry them." Shikamaru's mother Yoshino shouted, while Nara Shikaku just looked down at his son in sympathy. "Is that actually how Naras marry women?" A blushing Temari asked Naruto when he got to the competitor's box. "I'm not going to lie to you. Yes, that is how they marry women," Naruto said simply. Temari had a full face blush but then thought of the possibilities. Well, he is smart and cute. Plus he'll probably live through the invasion due to how lazy he is. And why not at least my husband would be under my control entirely. And he would even admit that I'm stronger than him. Temari thought. Troublesome, I have to fight Shino and I'm now engaged to the Kazekage's daughter whose brother is a psychopath. This day cannot possibly get any worse. Shikamaru thought and then shivered as he felt that he just tempted fate. Oh Kami, why did I say that? Oh well, at least she's cute and smart. Shikamaru thought as he stood up and faced Shino. Okay, the second match, Aburame Shino versus Nara Shikamaru. Hajime! Genma shouted, signaling the fight to begin. Shino sent a swarm of insects at Shikamaru when the match was called. Shikamaru jumped back as the swarm made its way towards him. Shikamaru threw 4 explosive tags at the swarm of insects. The thing about these explosive tags were they were much smaller than normal notes and had a smaller explosion when compared to the normal notes. The notes also had a smaller window of time for them to actually explode. They explode shortly after they are thrown. 5 seconds after they are thrown, the tags exploded and destroyed half of the swarm. There was then a large dust cloud that formed due to the explosion covering the view of the spectators. Shikamaru then bent down and put his hands in the rat seal. His shadow stretched and attached to something. Hekagemain no Jutsu, Shadow Possession Jutsu, successful, Shikamaru said with a smirk. The dust cleared and revealed Shino trapped in the shadow possession. However, Shino dispersed into a swarm of insects. Turns out the Shino trapped was a mushy Bunshin insect clone. The real Shino was standing behind Shikamaru thanks to his speed. Shino then sent another swarm of insects at Shikamaru. Shikamaru jumped back from the oncoming swarm only to look behind him and see another swarm of insects. The insects that were from the clone were gaining on him. Shikamaru threw an explosive tag at the swarm behind him and then threw a flash bomb on the ground. The insects behind him were burned to a crisp and the insects in front were blinded due to their enhanced vision. Shikamaru then created a rat seal and extended his shadow. The flash bomb had created a large amount of small shadows due to the swarm of insects. The shadow extended further due to each shadow the insects created. Shino was soon caught by the elongated shadow and stuck in the Kagemain no Jutsu, Shadow Possession Jutsu. Unfortunately, Shino could still use his insects as they were tied to his mind. He thinks they do it. Shino created a large swarm and sent it at Shikamaru, who just pulled out a kunai with a paper bomb on it. Stop them, Shino, or I'll blow them away. Forfeit, and then we can end this troublesome match. Shikamaru said. It is illogical to call off an attack when you have the upper hand, Shikamaru-san. I will not be dissuaded by threats, Shino said, and let the insects continue with the attack. Shikamaru threw the paper bomb wrapped kunai at the insects and let it explode. Half of them blew up, however the other half continued onward. Shikamaru was running out of ideas and chakra when he heard Shino talk. Perhaps you should forfeit, Shikamaru-san, as you seem to be running low on chakra and ideas. Shino neutrally said. Shikamaru sighed, unfortunately you are right. I cannot continue like this. I will have run out of chakra and would be defeated easily by a swarm of your Kikeichu, parasitic insects. Shikamaru said. Proctor. It's troublesome, but I forfeit. Shikamaru said. Gunma nodded. Nara Shikamaru has forfeited. The winner is Aburame Shino. Gunma shouted. A string of boos chorused in the stands due to the match being short. Naruto, who was standing next to Hinata, chuckled at Shikamaru forfeiting. Though he did think both would become Chunin after this. The Hokage was thinking to himself, Sasuke and Neji did rather well and may get Chunin rank, but I must think about it more. Naruto is definitely getting the rank after the skill he showed. Hell, the only reason I'm not making him Jonin is because he needs more experience. Shikamaru and Neji showed great thinking in their match. It was honestly just a bad matchup. They might make it to Chunin. We'll see. The Hokage thought. Will Hyuga Hinata and Haruno Sakura please come down? Gunma called them. Good luck, Hinata-chan, Naruto said to Hinata and gave her a peck on the cheek. Thank you, Naruto-kun, Hinata said with a light blush and then went down to the arena. Sakura made it down a few seconds after. The third match. Hyuga Hinata versus Haruno Sakura. Hajime, Gunma said and then jumped back. Hinata decided to start things off by rushing at Sakura and sending a right juken, gentle fist, strike at Sakura's abdomen. Sakura sidestepped the strike to her left and kicked her left leg into Hinata's right, trying to trip her. Hinata jumped up to avoid the strike and sent her right knee at Sakura's face. Sakura brought her left arm to her face and blocked the knee strike and then used her strength to push Hinata back. Hinata was pushed back while still in the air but used this to do a backflip thanks to her momentum. Hinata landed on her feet and was about to rush at Sakura when she jumped back and started going through hand seals. Horse Ram Tiger Ram, Furashukasen, Flash Ray. Scoura shouted and sent a beam of chakra from her hands at Hinata. The beam hit, but it did no damage. The jutsu's main purpose is to blind the opponent temporarily so one can capitalize. Hinata was hit and temporarily blinded. Sakura pulled out a kunai and rushed at Hinata. Unfortunately, Hinata heard her charging footsteps. Hinata held her right palm out and shouted Juho. Yuzu no Yasi? Gentle step. Vortex palm. A large blast of chakra shot off her right hand in the form of a tornado. Sakura jumped to her right in order to dodge the attack. She must have heard my footsteps while blinded and sent that attack to distract me. Unfortunately, it worked and she'll be able to see really soon and I won't be able to pull the same trick on her twice. It barely worked once. I guess I'll need to use that attack. Sakura thought. Hinata regained her sight 5 seconds later and rushed at Sakura. As she was running, she pulled out her sais. Sakura responded by pulling out 2 kunai knives. She held them in the reverse grip and charged Hinata. Hinata sent a left slash at Sakura's chest. Sakura held her right arm out and blocked the sai with her kunai. Sakura then flipped her kunai in her left hand and tried to stab Hinata in her stomach. Hinata flipped the sai in her right hand and brought it down on the kunai. Sakura's arm was pushed down by the force of the sai, and she jumped away as quickly as possible. Hinata was bringing right arm back up and was flipping it around when Sakura jumped away. Sakura after landing threw her left kunai at Hinata. Hinata jumped to her left to avoid the flying knife. As Hinata landed, Sakura threw her right kunai knife at her. Hinata had just enough time to bring her left sai up to swipe the kunai away. Unfortunately, this was all a distraction as Sakura started going through hand seals. Snake Horse Ram Snake Tiger, Doton, Kayadena Karashu, Earth Style, Colossal Crush. Sakura shouted and placed her hands on the ground. When she did, some poles made entirely out of rock shot from the ground and rushed to hit Hinata. Hinata got hit and was being pushed back by the poles. She was being pushed towards the arena wall, but then Hinata jumped over the poles and landed on one of them. Hinata then rushed as fast as she could along the poles heading after Sakura. Sakura as quickly as she could put more chakra into the jutsu when she saw this. As Hinata was running, poles shot up in front of her. She quickly jumped to another pole and continued running. Then the same thing happened, so she did the same thing again, and did this 2 more times. Hinata then jumped into the air and held both her palms out. Juho. Ida Aina Yuzu no Yasi. Gentle step. Great vortex palm. She shouted and sent an even larger chakra tornado at the size of a normal one. Sakura couldn't avoid the attack because it was too big. The attack hit and shredded some of her clothes and gave her a few cuts, but it also pushed her into the ground as well. When the attack dissipated, Hinata was panting and had used up quite a bit of chakra from the last attack, and Sakura was on the ground unconscious due to the pain. Genma walked and stood before the arena and shouted, "Haruno Sakura is unable to continue. The winner is Hyuga Hinata." He said it all with a smile on his face as he was impressed by the two kunoichi. Hinata walked back up the steps after seeing medics attending to Sakura and bringing her out of there. "Will Sabaku no Temari, Temari of the desert, and Tatsumaki Murasaki please come down to the arena?" Gunma beckoned the two wind users down to the floor. Temari jumped down over the railing and landed on the arena floor. Murasaki also hopped over the railing and landed on her feet. The fourth match, Sabaku no Temari, Temari of the desert, versus Tatsumaki Murasaki. "Hajime!" Genma shouted and jumped away from the fight that was about to take place. Murasaki quickly pulled out her two geisha fans, unfolded them, and swiped them like she was going to clap them. This created a large blast of wind thanks to the chakra she used in them. Temari unfolded her giant fan and stuck it into the ground and stood behind it. The wind hit the fan but did not make it budge in the slightest. "Hey, that wasn't too bad, Purple. But I think if that's all you've got, you won't be leaving the arena in one piece," Temari said as she stepped out from behind her fan and picked it up. "Now let's get this thing started. Kamaitashi no Jutsu, sickle weasel technique," Temari shouted as she swung her fan. She blew a powerful blast of wind at Murasaki. Murasaki swung her fans one at a time at the blast of wind to redirect some of it. The blast of wind dissipated quickly enough and Murasaki did not have a scratch on her. Interesting. The two girls both have advantages and disadvantages in this match. Due to this being a fight with two people using the same elements, it would normally come down to overpowering one another with the strength they hold with the element. However, Temari would win that, but Murasaki has speed, which at times can be more important than power. She also can redirect the wind Temari sends thanks to her small fans, but she cannot hit Temari thanks to Temari's own fan. This will come down to which is used better, speed or power. The Hokage thought in the stands. Temari swiped her fan and sent a small blast of wind at Murasaki. Then she sent another right after and jumped up into the air and sent a third blast. This made Murasaki swipe her fans at each blast, redirecting them. Murasaki then held her arms out with the fans open in each hand. She swiped them both and sent a blast of wind at Temari. Temari just redirected the wind with a swing of her fan. However, this was all a distraction done by Murasaki. Murasaki pulled her blowgun from her back and blew into it after aiming it. A dart shot out of it and nearly hit Temari in the leg. Temari saw it in time and swung her fan, bringing it to the other side. The dart was sent away and it looked like Murasaki was going to use another attack. But then feathers started to fall from the sky and people were falling asleep. Then there was a large explosion that sounded. Many ninjas used a genjutsu kai, genjutsu release, so they didn't fall asleep. The invasion had begun.
Hello, I'm back and I'm here to remind you that if you want more seasons, don't forget to give your comment asking for the third season. So, bye bye.